What is going on, everybody? It is episode 555 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here once again with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. Happy Friday. I didn't realize we have a lucky number for the episode today.
Also, she's back from CPAC.
Okay, guys, I didn't end up going to CPAC because I woke up sick yesterday, and then I went on the timeline and saw from people who went to CPAC that it was actually pretty dead this year, so I guess I didn't miss out on much.
Shocking.
But today is going to be lots of fun because we have two returning guests, friends of the show. Here is Xavier, or is it Xavier?
Yes, Xavier.
Would you say Xavier DeRusso?
Yeah, have you on the
They
X.
want you to say your name super French style.
Xaviaer de Rousseau.
Okay, I really like that. And Colonel Kurtz is also here. I didn't expect you to be on.
I know, it's a surprise.
Welcome back.
Yes.
How you
How
doing?
was
You can let me
Culture
know
War
if
today?
it was great. Let me know if you can't hear me at any point. Very
You're
well.
good.
Yeah, it was great. Tim really gave me a mental workout, honestly. Seriously.
always
That's
good.
why
He
we're
stumped
about to
me.
be as stupid as possible.
I was like, we were downstairs in the green room before the show, and she's like, yeah, it was. We had a really, really deep, intense intellectual conversation. I'm like, well, that's not what we're going to be having today, ladies and gentlemen. That's not my job, and thank goodness for that.
I still think about the clip of Tim talking about us getting banned on TikTok, and he's like, they're censoring us because we're doing what's right for America.
And me and Mary are just
Me?
like,
Who, me?
It's like, I don't know if America really gets brought into it that much when I'm thinking about it. Like
Yeah.
when I'm sitting here talking about, the various perils of Taylor Swift's cultural relevance, I don't know if I'm really thinking all that much about what it means for the country at large. In fact,
So her ex-boyfriend and then Ice Spice.
Ice Spice is single-handedly saving America.
What? Would you like to defend that position?
No.
Okay.
You heard her new song, Fart? Literally has a song called Fart.
Oh, no.
Like it's a clever line for like a tweet, but then you just repeat it 100 times and make it into a song. Like I don't know.
Man, I don't think I've heard this. I'm really missing out.
It's
apparently.
you think you this shit, you are not even a fart. That's
Class.
I have not heard it, but now I feel really enlightened.
classy.
Beautiful.
Very classy, yes. I mean, her hairline is saving the world. Have you seen that? Like, it's crazy.
Ice Spice's?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah, like
Ronald
like-
McDonald look?
Yeah, she's got like the really hot, like it kind of looks like a spaceship helmet, like the front of a spaceship helmet.
Oh, yeah, when she has to, like, super smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Lays down the bang.
yeah, basically, make your judgments what it will. But I was also, somebody was talking about that, and then below that in the video it says "me when you say that," and it links to Cardi B throwing the microphone at somebody. They're all saving the world. It's good. It's good.
Somebody's gotta
we
do
are
it.
definitely not saving the world, though. Whatever Tim says about our TikTok getting banned, I
We're
don't
here
think
to
it's because.
actively stupefy society.
Yes, so we're little by little, guys. Speaking of which, guys, let's go ahead and get started. We got a lot of stuff to get into today. We're going to make you incrementally stupider with each topic, I promise.
Oh,
It's going to be a lot of fun. But hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel. If you have not subscribed already, please and thank you. We have passed 101,000 subscribers. We're working our way upwards now. There's more to be gained, more to do, so share the video with your friends, so hopefully they share the videos with their friends. It's like a multi-level marketing scam, as I always say. Also, remember, all Super Chats $20 and over. We will interrupt the discussion. We will read those Super Chats right then and there, and then we will do our best to get on topic. Perhaps you have questions for Colonel Kurtz or for Xavier, and you want to ask them something specifically, and you can't wait. You just do that right then and there, and then we'll ask the question. So we got that. What are we going to get into today? Well, first things first, Beyonce, she has toppled the country chart. She is in charge now of all of country music. She is the #1 country artist in the world, and Xavier is going to be here to steel man this discussion.
Talk about winning on a technicality, but we'll get into it.
We'll get into it. So we're going to talk about that. Also, they're calling a racist backlash around it. John Snyder comments notwithstanding. We'll get Jonathan Snyder comments notwithstanding. We'll get into it. We're also going to talk about the amazing story about the influencer and her basically absentee father, B-Boy Bitcoin, who left and
Bitcoin?
he's a breakdancer, so B-Boy Bitcoin. And he's
Love it.
He sells so he breakdances with a poster of a Bitcoin logo behind him. B-Boy Bitcoin works perfect for me. So that story, we obviously did it as cringe of the day like earlier in the week, but that story has continued to grow. So we will get all into the drama on that. We're also going to talk about where the hell all the male feminists have gone, because apparently with these new studies coming out, it seems that all of the women in society society are becoming more liberal, I would argue more leftist, and all the men in society, as they are growing up, are becoming more conservative.
All of those Zoomers with the broccoli hair.
Yes, and we're going to talk about mogwarts.
Yes, they're attending Mogwarts and studying looks-maxing instead of paying attention to these hoes.
Yeah. Do you
Work on yourself, King.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to talk about that. Also, Belle Delphine, her dad disowned her because she does OnlyFans. It's shocking.
I don't know who any of these people are. What is wrong with me?
That's
Probably nothing. That's probably a good thing.
But we're gonna make, like I said, we're gonna make your.
You're gonna educate me.
We are gonna incrementally drop your faith in humanity with each topic today. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun, guys. So if you guys are all ready, we will just go ahead and get started. Kurtz, you ready? Mm-hmm. Mary.
I'm ready.
Xavier.
I'm always
Good to
ready.
go? All right, let's go ahead. He's actually right, too, because we were talking before the show. He's, ready to get into it. But speaking of things that could actually drop your faith in humanity, I've got big announcement here. KFC is launching a new chicken pizza hybrid called the Chizza.
Chizza.
Diabetes.
Chizza. Amazing.
This isn't diabetes. This is protein.
It looks
I'm
disgusting.
seeing a lot of protein
keto,
here.
right?
It
Who
could
is
be
the
keto
target
if it weren't for the
audience?
breading.
It looks disgusting to me.
It does look gross.
That
oh
just
my
looks
God.
nasty. That looks like you're just desperate to get headlines. Because if anything, this is the first time I've thought about KFC. Ironically, being the black person on the panel, I don't think about KFC that often. But I just want to know who thought this was a good idea.
Oh my God.
I don't know. It's just too much going on for me.
They saw
personally.
all of the hype around the Taco Bell's test kitchen Baja Blast pie and the Baja Gelato. And they were jealous, and they wanted to make their own announcement.
So I tweet a fair amount about Hollywood and things that are going on in the industry. Nothing gets me more responses than tweeting out disgusting food and food trends. For some reason, people love to talk about gross new
Talk
food
shit
trends.
about it.
Yeah, they do. We got a $20 one here from Gordon Shumway. Says, Colonel, it was great to see you on the Culture War. Most of the root cause you and Tim were saying was the issue with the woke ideology in academia. I was thinking they're both right. It's a mixture of both. It's feeding itself.
Agree? I
You
agree.
agree?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you miss being a professor sometimes?
I know I'm supposed to say yes.
That short of you talking about how pathetic students are these days went so viral because it's true.
Well,
They're
that's
all-
funny because
might as well be coming into class with helmets.
What was so funny about that is, for people who don't know, is that there was a short that they did that just took off on Instagram. It's probably had almost 1 million views now. But it was me complaining about students expecting to be coddled. But what's funny about it is I was actually such a pushover as a teacher. My GPA in my class, my average grade was an A-. And so it's funny because that's that one immortalized now forever is me griping about students being coddled.
But
And
really,
actually,
they look like they worked hard on it. I'll give them an A.
I'm imagining it as them calling you Professor Kurtz, even though that's not your name.
We got a $20 one here from Pat the Plumber. Says, does anybody have any food suggestions for Harper's Ferry area? I miss PCC. Let's go. Food suggestions?
No, I don't have any because I can't think of anything good.
Yeah, I just wouldn't go because parking sucks in Harper's Ferry.
Yeah.
Getting around Harper's Ferry kind of sucks. So,
Go to Frederick.
yeah, you're probably better off in Frederick. So,
I do want to say, too, I feel bad for students of today because it's really not their fault that they suck so bad. It's really the educators and these teachers unions and these just school board meetings who they keep taking away all the expectations that these kids are supposed to have.
Yeah.
I just learned that in San Francisco, they're bringing back algebra to 8th graders as an option because they took it away 10 years ago. And the reason they took it away is because they said the achievement gap was too big and that you had students who were going on and they were having way more opportunities and this. I'm like, is that not how the real world
How
works?
dare they have opportunities based on their skill set?
Yeah, how dare they not be stupid and just want to actually care about their career in 8th grade?
I think the parents are also pitting themselves against teachers and professors in order to defend their kid. And you have no authority over my kid. I'm the parent. I make the rules.
the parents are a real issue.
But they need to be on the same side.
that reminds me of this story I saw the other day. It said students sent back to 9th grade from 12th grade.
Damn.
I wish we could do that for so many more people. The amount of people that I meet who don't even know how to read a clock now. It's
What?
y'all need to
Yeah.
go back to 6th grade, and I'm
God.
serious. I'll pay for the books.
It's eventually one day they're going to be looking at strange American hieroglyphs and it's just going to be cursive writing. And they're going to be like, what the hell is this? you know, most of the time. So
Then they have Chizza for dinner.
I don't like. I wear like when I don't wear a watch very often, but I bought like a $20 like digital watch because I don't like having to like look like what time is it? Like, so I can't say I'm much better. I prefer to just look at like a watch with the actual digital time on it. But that's just me.
But you at least know how to read a clock.
Do.
Like, you have to have some kind of skill sets.
All right. So I want to show everybody this trailer. There's a lot of people who watch this channel who know who the Critical Drinker is. He is a very, very popular YouTuber. He's got, I think he's coming up on 2 million subscribers right now. He critiques Hollywood. He's very, very eloquent when he does so. But he's also an author. He is the author of a book series called Ryan Drake. That's the name of the character under his real name. And that character is getting a movie made about it. And that's a big thing that we talk about on here, is that for a lot of these channels that have been doing this for a very long time, it's not just about critiquing the culture. It has to be about actually actively adding to it as well. So I want people to get a chance to go ahead and check this trailer out for this movie.
Bravo, I found a target. I count 5 guys inside that room.
Hold on, Alpha. Let me check the schematics and see if there's another entry point.
No time for that.
It looks like Christian Toto
Going loud.
from the side profile.
Last year, one of your CIA Shepherd teams infiltrated a maximum security prison. Their target was an operative, identified by the code name Malas.
Adele? I thought that was Adele.
Is the name of the man who led this mission.
I guess we're in for a long night. Because I don't know shit.
Einstein's team was tasked with retrieving this man, Ivan Fedorov, an agency asset investigating a new radical separatist group in Estonia. We have just under 2 hours to figure out how to get inside that warehouse, find Fedorov, and get the fuck out in one piece.
Look around you, Frost. Does this look like headquarters to you? This looks and sounds like a bullshit rush job.
You were foolish enough to send spies into my country. And as you can see, they have failed miserably. Ryan Drake.
Better hope this isn't a trap. Because if those assholes don't kill you, I will. The only people dying today are those fuckers. All of them.
That's a language. Okay.
Yeah.
So he wrote it. Is he directing?
No, I don't think he's the director, but he, if you look, actually I can pull it up here. So it's based on his book series, which is awesome. And like I said, it's good to see people who don't just critique the space, but are willing to actually go out and make their own stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm looking forward to seeing this. I'm hoping that we can actually do a review for this on the channel.
Sure.
That was good.
And also, as I pointed out in my tweet, it's like, call me like a simp, but this is the genre of movie that I prefer to, like, these are the genres that I actually really, really like.
It's definitely not my thing.
It's not Mary's thing, but I liked it. And but it's based on his book series. So I believe he wrote the script, or he co-wrote the script, and it's based on the books that he wrote.
Okay.
So that's awesome.
Right.
And it's fantastic, and I want to see more of this stuff, because if you guys haven't had a chance to go watch his channel, if you know anything about Hollywood today, or even if you just kind of followed along, he's really good at distilling down all of the problems with the industry in a way that's like, you take for granted, you're like, oh, I would have thought of that, but you probably wouldn't have thought about it until somebody else put it into words. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like he can distill down all these ideas that you have and say it in such a snappy fashion that's just, like I said, 2 million subscribers almost. So go and check it out, guys. But now on to some bad news. If you did not see the 2024 remake of Mean Girls, I don't blame you, right?
Congratulations.
Congratulations. But there was a joke about fire crotches in there aimed at Lindsay Lohan. And they have...
Well, Angourie Rice played Katie Heron, and she's a redhead too, so it was kind of more so aimed at her, but it's a reference to Lindsay Lohan getting called fire crotch by Paris Hilton back in the day, back in the Disney, and they had to take it out. More censorship in this digital
you can't
release.
Use the fire crotch term? No?
You can't. They took it out of the digital release of this movie.
Is that really Lindsay's biggest concern?
I know.
Really?
I know.
It's like you're like 3 years,
And
I
she-
think, sober of like wild addiction. It's like why are you concerned about something this small?
Got a
She seems
husband,
like
a
she's doing
baby,
fine
and all
now.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
seems like she's doing fine.
She's in
now.
this new rom-com called Irish Wish that's going on Netflix, and it looks so... It looks like something that you would see in the 2000s.
Oh, in the chat, Chief
like-
says ginger side even applies to the fire crotch. Yeah, they're even getting rid of jokes about gingers.
Yeah, how did she not know that was going to be in the final cut, though?
I don't know.
That really offended her so deeply that
I
she
wonder if she
needed
was a
them to take it
producer
out.
on the. I wonder if she was a producer on the movie. She might have been.
Might have.
The
been,
original
yeah.
or the new one?
No, the new one. Like it's. I mean, because it was still made by Tina Fey, but it's very possible, given that she's got as much clout as she does, that she could have been a producer on the film. But yeah, you can't.
Did
say,
you see it?
No, if I actually always said that they should have made like if they were going to remake Mean Girls, they could have really taken it there and like had it be like a cult classic again. But I just knew this was going to be watered down. It wasn't going to be funny. It was probably going to like, isn't it a musical now too?
It was the musical, the movie, more than it was a remake of the original. Yeah.
Yeah, the staff, like not the staff, the cast just didn't look convincing to me. Like they just didn't look bitchy enough.
I got
Dare say
so much hate. I said like this cast is not. I'm sorry, but they're not attractive. They're not.
And like I really liked Mean Girls, like the first one, like the table with the unfriendly black hotties. Like I wanted to see a table.
They took all of that out.
Why?
All of the
Like,
references to race,
because
everything.
they would call it playing on stereotypes, and you can't do that anymore.
Stereotypes are not always a bad thing. If it's a pattern, I'm going to point out the pattern.
My favorite is that. Have you ever seen that picture? It says like America finally wins the like a worldwide math tournament. It's just a bunch of like American Chinese kids.
See, that's a good stereotype to have.
Yeah,
It's like we finally won, and it's all Asian kids. It's like, of course, right? Like that makes perfect sense.
It's like that's like a Gemini search or something.
Yeah, basically. Right? Those are. Did you guys? So we talked about this yesterday on the show. Mary wasn't here. Did you guys like any of? Did you see any of the Gemini searches for various things
So
that got
ridiculous.
turned into?
I just kept seeing one after another. It was just more ridiculous after another on Twitter.
My favorite was it says I asked for vanilla ice cream and it shows chocolate ice cream.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that
Because
one too.
it was like show me one of them was like one of the more like nefarious ones says like show me a picture of black joy, show me a picture of Asian joy, show me a picture of Latinx joy, and then it just shows pictures of happy people, right? It says show me a picture of white joy. It says well, yeah, we can't do that, it's problematic, we can't show you white joy.
Being
Yeah.
lectured to by your computer, it's just an interesting, or by Google. It's
Yeah, I don't know what would have been worse. Like, what's actually funnier for them to do? Like, if you put in like, show me a picture of white joy, is it that them saying we can't show you, it's problematic, or is it show like a bunch of
Sad
KKK
white
members?
people.
Yeah, like what is more racist on their
They
part,
show a
right?
KKK
Yeah,
rally.
That's what they would do. Right?
God.
But it was just funny because I was like, I just wanted to talk about it and laugh at the pictures, and then Phil and Lisa are like having this debate about the ethics of AI. I'm like, too intellectual. Let's look at the funny pictures, guys. Here's Justin Trudeau in blackface. That's funny too. Right?
Yeah, and George Washington.
Yep, George Washington. Yo, if you zoom in on the George Washington one, it's so evil looking. Like there's no pupils to the eyes, and it's just really, really just
Yeah.
not good. All right, so let's talk about. You're gonna have to explain the Olivia Rodrigo thing to people.
Yeah, Olivia Rodrigo just turned 21, so she decided to release some merchandise. It involves a shot glass that has her name on it, and that's, relatively inoffensive, right? But the Livies, the Olivia Rodrigo stans, were very deeply offended by this because most of them are 12, not 21. They said, so many fellow Livies attacking me. I no longer feel safe in this fandom and will be unstanning immediately.
Wait, how do you
my
unstand? Do you delete your Stan account? Is that
She
how you
said-
unstand?
You convert it to somebody
Yeah.
else. You
She
become a
said
Swiftie.
Olivia Rodrigo is promoting drinking to a primarily underage audience. I stan her, but this isn't okay. Another one said, I'm 17, minor, and very scared. WTF. You're valid for pointing this out, and it doesn't
so
make you
delicate.
any less of a Livy. Another one said, trigger warning, underage drinking. They're mad because I'm triggered by alcohol. It's low-key giving ableism and racist, kinda. It goes against my cultural values.
This is insane.
They have to be trolling.
It has to be
Also,
trolling.
does anyone else spot the Taylor shade? I think that since Taylor is over 21 and hasn't released any alcohol products, that Olivia is saying, haha, I'm more of a drinker than you.
It is, isn't it weird? Like, that's the thing that's like, it's a big thing now for celebrities to have their own brand of liquor. Now, that's like a really big thing, is to have
George
either
Clooney,
your own,
like,
your own wine or your own. If you're a smaller level actor, you've got your own wine. If you're an A-list actor, you've got your own bourbon or whiskey or
I
something
guess
like that.
tequila is the big
Yeah.
one.
I think that.
I think that's what Ryan Reynolds has.
Well, George Clooney, you know, he was really the trailblazer with that. And I think what happened is they saw that he was able to sell his company to Jim Beam for $1 billion or something. It was like hundreds of millions. But you know, Marilyn Manson, he was actually a trailblazer with this too, because he, before it was in vogue, he started his own line of absinthe.
Oh, that's very goth.
We got a $20 one here from DCNC. Says, it's Mummy Kurtz. That's a you. Did you watch that Evan Rachel Wood interview with Dr. Ramani? Like you, I wasn't a Manson super fan, but what is going to take for his name to be cleared in the public consciousness, Depp style? What is it going to take? We watched parts of that on stream. That Dr. Ramani, me and you did.
Oh yeah, we did we did. So I thought that was very unfortunate. That was a disaster. I like Dr. Ramani. I have watched a number of her shows before. She's very smart. I just don't think that she realized that she herself was up against a master narcissist manipulator. But it was interesting to look at the comments underneath that interview, because they were basically, almost all of them were negative, and they were saying, Dr. Ramani, you're being manipulated. What is it going to take for Manson to get out from under all of this? Oh man, I mean, I think that what he has in his favor is that I think normal people are over all of this. They're over Me Too.
Yeah,
they're
definitely.
over automatically believing women, and they smell a rat with a lot of these celebrity allegations. To me, though, the barrier is, it's like mainstream, like corporations, like record labels, who are still scared, you know, and promoters who are still scared to get in bed with an artist who's got all of this.
In bed with.
Yeah. No pun intended, right? Yeah, so I don't know. I think that he's going to have to end up independently releasing his music and just go straight to the fans and bypass these corporate structures. I don't know, but I'm not sure.
He
what his
definitely
strategy
has the resources to do that.
I mean, he's got name recognition. He's got a lot of hits under his belt. No pun intended. No, I think he's going to be okay.
So many puns.
It's like his
That one
song
took me a
though.
second.
Long hard road out of hell. It is a long hard road out of hell for Marilyn Manson, I think.
I do think for a lot of people, when it comes to those cases, and I think I was making this comparison before the show. I said it's kind of like if you like a celebrity enough, or you like something they've made enough, you're just willing to be like, yeah, what are you talking, like with J.K. Rowling, right? People are like people just love Harry Potter, and they're like, she doesn't like what people? Oh, I don't know anything about that. I'm going to.
I'm gonna go get my butterbeer now.
My butterbeer. I'm sorry. They just pretend like they don't know, right?
I'm consciously delusional if I like somebody enough. Like Anna Delvey, I would literally vote her as like the treasurer of the United States right now. It's like, what about all the things she did?
Yep.
Like what?
If it's a financial crime, like, we can forgive that.
Right, because I don't blame her.
Yeah.
I'd put the Theranos lady in charge of the Better Business Bureau. Sure, why not? Let's do it. That'd be great.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Elizabeth Holmes.
I thought about trying to interview her. She is actually just
I'd love
45 minutes away from where I live, and I thought, I wonder if I write to her if she'd do an interview, but I'm sure she won't.
That would be so cool if you did that.
But I do think that
should.
most people, like, there's like, and the average person just isn't as connected to all of this stuff. I really do believe, and I point this out all the time. It's like everybody, if you're like partaking in a specific cause, whether it's whether it's talking about Me Too, or whether it's talking about Hollywood, the average person just doesn't know this stuff is going on, and they don't care. That's true.
We're all four of us are chronically online compared to the average person, and most people just do not care. They do not pay attention.
Yeah, that's true.
I envy them.
I really do. I mention the story all the time. I don't remember, it was Seven Molyneux or something that said, like, I wish I could vomit up the red pill. I do. I do. If I could go and just puke it up. I would.
Didn't want to see that.
My ignorant
What
liberal days
happened
were
to
so
him,
easy.
by the way? Like, he just got completely erased from everything. Like, everyone, like, Twitter ditched him and Facebook and everything.
He didn't get
right?
reinstated on now X.
Who?
I don't see him. Stefan Molyneux. So he's a right-wing commentator, and he got into some trouble for looking into the idea of race and IQ, which I don't even like. It's totally out of my wheelhouse. But that's what got him in hot water, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the point is I still think the comment holds that a lot of times once you become aware of what's going on in the world, that it's not as it seems if all you do is live on autopilot and go to work. And,
Right.
You know, and to be fair to most people, you got kids, you've got responsibilities. It's a lot harder to pay attention. Oddly enough, it makes it more important to pay attention to all of this stuff, but a lot harder to do so when you've got so many other responsibilities to take care of. So, all right, now that we've had a semi-serious conversation, let's look at a modern update of Will Smith eating spaghetti. Who remembers this video? Do you remember the cursed AI video from like a couple of years ago of Will Smith eating spaghetti? Did anybody watch this one?
Oh.
Here it is right here.
Burnt into my neurons.
Here's the original one of him. This is just a year ago.
God.
Well, let's look at the updated version. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. So we don't get copyright.
Immediate anxiety.
Yep.
Oh, why is he
It's like
scared?
an alien movie.
Everything I have heard or learned about Will Smith in the last 2 years, especially with Jada, is not by choice. I'm tired of seeing Will Smith in this light. And I don't know. I feel like he should sue Jada Pinkett Smith.
For what?
Just for everything.
The emotional distress.
Just
Ruining the
emotional
public
distress.
perception of him, basically, single-handedly.
Oh, that
my
was
God.
disgusting.
Slapgate was his fault.
I mean, all of that
Unfortunately.
after, all of just her, like.
I mean, her
parade-
saying like after Slapgate, that was the first moment where she felt like that's my man.
She's so
See, I blame her. She
You are
has
deranged,
completely
lady.
taken control of that man's mind. She's probably doing voodoo. You know, my family's Creole, so I know how all that works. You take some hot tea, you pour it through your panties into his cup and then drink it. I'm telling you, I'll tell all the voodoo secrets on here. But let me stop.
You think Jada did that?
Yes, Jada has that man in a chokehold. Her bald-headed self.
She's like, so you just gonna let him talk to me like that?
Right. She's just like,
I see how it is.
She gave him
Snaps
that
her
one
fingers.
look at the Oscars, and he took action. He
all it
mobilized.
takes.
He goes, and he starts walking up.
Yeah.
It's really amazing that he's still with her, just because you think about like all of the, he could basically have almost any woman that he wanted to, and he's still, but he is under
They
her
don't live
spell.
together anymore. Remember? They don't
They're
still
technically
together, aren't they?
separated, right?
They're
They've
technically
been
separated. but
separated
still
for
married.
what,
Okay.
6-7 years,
Yeah.
but no one knew that.
during her entanglements.
Yep. The many multiple entanglements. And to be
Yeah.
fair, he apparently had entanglements with like Dwayne Martin and various other people too. So I
Did you
can't.
hear about Orlando Brown just went on that whole rant about all the people he slept with?
Whoa.
He claims that he slept with, allegedly, Orlando Brown from like That's So Raven said he
Yeah.
was with like Cat Williams. Oh shit, it's blanking. Did you see that list?
I saw the headline.
I've seen him make plenty of unhinged posts, but no one believed him at the time.
Yeah, hold on, let me check my Twitter. I know I got this in my bookmarks. It was crazy.
Because he made some like Me Too allegations. too.
Yeah, he said Diddy, Bow Wow, Busta Rhymes, Cat Williams, Usher, Terrence Howard. He said Usher's a gusher. I'm telling you, bro. Every time I log into Twitter, it is so unhinged
Okay.
now.
I'm never.
Wow.
That one's
Usher's a
never
gusher.
going away from. Never gonna unsee
Somebody
that.
We
usher
need to
him
hear
to
from
a
Justin
clinic.
Bieber about this.
All right, Mary, tell us what is going on with the Dune poster. Why are people
Yeah,
pissed about
this poster for Dune Part 2 just came out, and everyone is saying that it's feminist because Zendaya is standing in front of Timothée Chalamet, the protagonist, and it immediately reminded me of that magazine cover of Rihanna leading A$AP Rocky while he's holding the baby. It does give feminist vibes.
There's a $50 super chat here from someone named CJ Pearson. I wonder who that could be, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
Who says,
Lord.
how is Xavier so keenly aware of these voodoo spells? Does he date many magicians?
Look, CJ.
We would like to know.
I like my
Inquiring
Creole
minds want to know.
girls. Shout out to the Creole people. Shout out to the people of the great state of Louisiana, which is next to the University of Alabama. CJ, would you like to talk about the girls of the University of Alabama? Because if so, send another super chat.
Yeah. All right, so they're mad because she's walking in front of him in this poster. I think this
Should
is much
she
to do
even be
about-
in the
That's
poster?
silly.
In fairness, Zendaya in this picture, Zendaya 100% looks like she could kick Timothée Chalamet's ass.
That's not saying much, as skinny as he is.
Right, she looks more
Almost anyone
intimidating.
could, yeah.
Like, I would put her in front too. If these are the two people you're gonna cast, she definitely looks like she's gonna stand on business. He looks like he's afraid of his own shadow. Respectfully.
Like he's.
They said he's literally the main character. Why is she even in front?
They make dozens of posters for movies. Like this
Yeah.
is just one that they're seeing. Like literally, all you have to do is Google Dune 2 poster and see a bunch of other images either created by them, some by the studio, some others. And yeah, it is what it is. And she is a big name actress these days. Though I guess Timothée Chalamet is as close to as you're going to get to like the new class of A-list actors with like.
Have any of y'all seen Wonka? Is it?
Yeah,
You saw it?
we reviewed
oh,
it.
Man. Okay, so this is funny. So Wonka's a huge success. What's
Yeah.
really funny about that is like we didn't like it. Everybody else seemed to like it, and I was like,
It's just every time that a song sequence comes up, we're like, oh, again.
yeah, like, and I didn't like it. It didn't speak to me. But now, I freely admit, it's like, look, I was in a bad mood when we went to see the movie, maybe, and I don't like musicals to begin with. Maybe if I went in with more of a level head, the musical aspects of it wouldn't annoy me as much now. It wasn't, and then people are like, is it woke? I'm like, no. It's just I just didn't like it.
Some
Like,
things aren't woke; they're just bad.
It's like when they were talking about Madam Web. I'm like, Madam Web wasn't woke. It was just bad.
Yeah.
It was just bad. So Timothée Chalamet is pretty much what you'd consider like an A-list actor these days, and Zendaya is an A-list actress.
Yeah, he's dating Kylie Jenner still, isn't he?
yeah, that
I
is a
think
weird
so.
pairing.
What the hell do they talk about?
Maybe it's not a talky relationship.
I mean, I saw videos of them at award shows where they're trying to lip read exactly what they're saying, and they're like, "I think I'm gonna buy it in blue."
I wonder if he's like I wonder if he shit talks under like anonymous accounts online, and that's what he does with his free time.
He seems
Oh, I
fairly
guarantee.
offline.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't know. I don't trust that any of these celebrities are as offline as they claim, unless they're over the age of 32.
I think you're
I
right.
don't believe
They're
it.
running their own Stan
right.
accounts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
Normani.
so yeah, she just got busted running her own
Yep.
stand.
And they were also caught like running accounts that were hating on them too. They're
awesome.
psycho.
I'm gonna start my own Brett Stan account. And you'll know it was me because nobody else would actually create one of those, so it'll be really awesome. And I'll actually. But here's the thing: I'll just announce that I'm running it, and that just let people know it's like I'm running my own Stan account of me, by me, for me.
Make a fake Brett OF.
Yes, I could do that. We'll go ahead and do that. It'll be great. All right, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. Look, the Dune rating right now is like 95% from critics, and that's from the not just the shill critics, but also from the critics that you would trust. It looks like it's going to be really, really good. The embargo on the release of the critic reviews was early, which is always a good sign. If they're willing to let people talk about it early, it means that they're pretty. They have a lot of faith in how it's going to come out, how people are going to see it. They didn't wait until like 12 hours before the movie comes out to let people start talking about it. So we will be going to see it here on the 29th. So it's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Dolly Parton. She entered a Dolly Parton lookalike contest, and she lost
To a drag queen.
Disrespectful.
no.
It's so disrespectful to Auntie Dolly.
But she's so she's just such a professional, and she's so magnanimous. She was totally fine with it. She had no problem with it
Of
whatsoever.
course. I really respected how great she looked in that Cowboys cheerleader outfit that she
Yeah.
wore. What was that, a couple of months ago?
Yep.
Right?
Yep, that was great.
The drag queen looks more like her than she does.
I would sue anyone who said that if I were Dolly Parton. If someone told me the drag queen of me looked more like me than myself after all these decades I put in of looking good, making good music, being unproblematic, all of you are going to jail. Immediately to jail.
She is the definition of unproblematic.
She is.
Yeah.
She's one of like the 5 white celebrities that no matter who you are, if you are a black person you love, it's like unanimous across the black community. I would say her, everybody loves, now you got me blanking. I would have known if you didn't just ask me. White celebrities, I made a list. Well, I guess you say non-black. Everybody loves Selena, the singer Selena.
Yep. Her, the lady who shot her is like, she's been like, has a documentary made
I
about her
saw
recently.
that,
Really?
yeah. Her former manager.
Yeah. Yeah, like this, it's all coming back in the news. One of the things, like, if you don't have enough of a reason to hate Howard Stern, if you look back at because we were talking about Howard Stern for some reason, Howard Stern was quaking in fear about COVID, wouldn't leave his house for 3 years, and then you look back at the fact that he was like making fun of the fact that Selena died like right after.
Yeah, I mean, he was a shock jock. What do you expect?
But my point is that you're a scumbag if you can do that then and then come back later and then pretend to be virtuous.
Start tone policing people.
I have no problem with somebody. Okay, for instance, I have no problem with somebody changing their image, right? With somebody being like, okay, I started in saying a lot of shocking stuff when I was younger. I grew out of it. I got older. But don't pull the ladder up behind you and then pretend like everybody else doesn't have the same right to be shocking when they're younger, and maybe they deserve the right to also grow into something different.
He was so awful to Anna Nicole Smith too.
Yep.
To a lot of people.
But you are right. Dolly is one of the most unproblematic. Keanu Reeves. Somebody says Keanu. Keanu Reeves is also unproblematic to most people.
We should do a field trip to Dollywood.
Where's Dollywood?
Isn't it in Nashville?
It is.
Oh, I didn't know there was a Dollywood.
Multiple
I think
locations?
no, it's around there. I remember seeing like the signs for it when we were there for the Lady Ballers premiere.
Dollywood, interesting.
All right, this story is unbelievably sad about Wendy Williams.
Yeah, Lifetime is producing a documentary about her where she's actually one of the executive producers, and I believe this, of course, like began before this diagnosis, but she just got diagnosed with progressive aphasia and dementia. And there are parts of the trailer for this where she's going around in New York City and she's saying like she doesn't know where she is. She doesn't know who these people are. The signs were there. And now she doesn't have access to her bank account. And there are rumors that there's this former manager who's trying to manipulate her and get her money. It's very sad.
How old is she?
She's only like
59.
59. Yeah, 59.
People are getting, unfortunately, dementia at earlier ages. Does she deny that she has dementia, or she does?
Well, I don't know if she's even aware.
Yeah, I mean,
this point.
Bruce Willis is older, but still pretty young for the same diagnosis which happened to him, and we've watched his get progressively worse.
Is it just like bad taste to still release the documentary though? Now that she
It doesn't matter. Like
diagnosed.
documentaries are like one of the. It's like this genre that allows you to just. They don't mind it. They don't mind like. It's like they made an Astroworld documentary like 3 days after the Astroworld show.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that makes it seem planned.
Yes.
You know what's crazy about with Wendy Williams? I saw that she was having a conversation with Black China, and Black China was saying how like she's gonna be there for her, like they'll always be friends and everything. And Wendy just out of nowhere, she starts saying like, she goes, my real last name is Hunter. She goes, I'm divorced now, but he's broke. He has no money. And I'm like, so you barely remember anything, barely can even speak anymore. But if there's one thing that you are 100% solid that you remember is that your ex-husband is broke. She's taken that all the way to her grave, literally. And I mean that so respectfully, but it shows like her, I don't know if you know like the backstory, but her husband was just a complete just POS, like spending all of Wendy's money on the mistress and everything. So I think that was a big part that expedited.
Charming guy.
Yeah. This is also interesting because Lifetime produced that made-for-TV movie about her.
Yeah.
I think she was involved in that too, and they like reenacted the moment where she collapsed on air, dressed as the Statue of Liberty. Like she's always been known for her worst moments.
Yeah.
It seems.
Yeah.
But
because her career's been built off of other people's worst moments. Because like before the Shade Room, before TMZ, it was Wendy Williams.
And while this beef was going on between Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion, everyone was like, Wendy Williams, she's gone when we need her the most to talk about this in the purple chair.
I know. I miss Wendy. She was so messy. Or she probably still is when she has her moments.
Yeah, younger than Bruce Willis, though.
Yeah.
Still with this diagnosis.
It's very, very sad. And also because of, in the age of the internet now, back in the day when this type of thing would happen to a celebrity, they would just kind of fade from the public eye. But what's going to happen now is they still remain in the public consciousness. Like Bruce Willis's kids will intermittently post photos with
and now, like,
him
his kids are getting accused of using him for clout because they're posting pictures or videos of him when he's not able to understand what's going on anymore. Now her family members are getting accused of trying to like climb onto her fame.
That makes a really interesting discussion. Like honestly, I was kind of fascinated by that. They were talking about, so one of his daughters posted a picture with him where he's there but he's not there, right? And so people are saying like, you're using him for this, but who can actually, it's kind of like when people accuse other people of being a grifter in their industry, and I'm like, that assumes that you understand their actual motives, and the idea that you could understand the motives of another person most of the time is very, very dubious. And when you entangle that with something like family and people that are very, very close to you, I just find that to be, it's a symptom of being in a culture where you're now exposing people you're never going to meet to like the most personal moments of your life. Back in the day, the only people that saw your family photos were other members of your family, right? You weren't just sharing them with everybody. Yeah, you get used to it eventually. One day.
Just called him hard.
But it's crazy. Like, it's just, and that people were having this back and forth about whether it was nefarious that she posted a picture with her dad.
Like exploited it.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I tend to err on the side of, unless a person gives me a reason not to trust them for something like that his daughter, is not doing this out of malice. You can judge it however you want, I guess, but I don't believe that she would do something like that out of malice unless there's other such incidents that would give you reason to take a pause.
Right. And you have to think like logically too. It's like, if these are the children of Bruce Willis, like they are not hurting for money.
No.
So like, what is the grift? Like, people overuse the term grifter because like, okay, you post a selfie with your dad, like what, you're gonna get millions of dollars because you posted a selfie with Bruce Willis and he looks like he's disoriented. It's like, how are you benefiting from that in a grifter perspective?
Oh my gosh, even Michaela Peterson was getting comments like that too.
Was she?
Yeah, like when he went to rehab and they were saying the same thing.
Yeah.
You can't know someone's conscience from the outside.
And also, and the other problem with that is then, like, for somebody who is more self-conscious, that might prevent them from sharing something they actually want to share because they're going to be worried about what people say about it. And that sucks, too.
Yeah.
So, all right.
This is happy news, though. On another note,
okay, yes.
Vice is sinking right now. They've announced that they are cutting hundreds of jobs, and they're no longer going to be publishing on their news site. And then, as an in memoriam post, I saw this video montage of all of the worst Vice headlines over the years. So, how I rediscovered sexual liberation through fisting.
Should we play? Can we play this as their music?
I don't think
wild.
so.
Let's look at some of these headlines. Maybe we can pause as we go.
I don't understand.
Oh, there is.
fisting.
Oh, it's Sarah McLachlan.
Sarah McLachlan.
We're gonna have to mute it, guys.
Okay.
Oh no. So let's listen. Let's look at some of these headlines.
The communist sex workers doing financial domination.
For Praxis.
For Praxis.
I think that Marx and Engels would chuckle to see a bunch of working class people draining funds from the bourgeoisie losers.
The meth-fueled week-long orgies ravaging London's gay sex party scene.
Well, that could happen to anybody. Okay?
The far right are uniting around their right to quote-unquote free speech.
Free speech?
Fat phobia exists, and it's especially bad in the bedroom.
People don't.
I don't even want to say this next one out loud. Ugh.
Oh my god. What did I just? I feel like I went away and then something.
Vice
a dramatic shift.
Vice shut down their website. They're no longer going to be publishing on their website, and we're showing you exactly why that is.
Oh my gosh! Well, I can see.
I can imagine that the readership on this article was just huge.
Most of these sites are going through mass layoffs right now.
We just
if not
mentioned
shutting
yesterday
down.
that BuzzFeed just had a whole nother round of layoffs, and they sold Complex.
Washington Post, I believe, and HuffPo. And
this person said, this is from Motherboard. We talked to a professional cuck about the alt-right.
Oh. Another one. Most child abusers are not pedophiles, says expert. Interesting.
What?
Yes, you absolutely can be fat and fit. Breaking news. Why can't my famous gender non-conforming friends get laid?
Yeah,
Gee, I wonder why.
I wonder why.
Sex tourism isn't just for straight white guys anymore.
God, it's the end of civilization.
Oh, U.S. Customs wants to stop Indians from carrying cow dung in their luggage.
Well, look, okay, so it's like when they tell you can only take so much rainwater, right? Like, the government sucks. I'm kind of with them on this one.
I have IBS. Here's how it affects my sex life. Great.
I'd be so afraid to see like if AI, because you know how AI like surfs the web and goes through all these headlines to see how people communicate and what's trending. Imagine AI going through Vice and what their perspective of society would be.
Yeah.
So for anybody in the chat, if anybody in the chat needs advice, there's an article here that says how to have sex with a fat girl.
And just in case you're looking for advice.
There's a $20 super chat here.
Fupa. It actually says fupa. Touch the fupa.
I cannot stress this enough.
There is a $20 super chat here from the Manic Mustache. Says, sorry I'm late. Wife called, said we're having a baby.
Oh.
I ran home as fast as I could. When I got there, she introduced me to our first chick born on the compound. I guess a chicken will do for now. I like the idea that he went home thinking that a kid was going to be there, but it was a chicken.
It was a phantom pregnancy.
Like, he was like, well, he's like, we're having it. We are? She wasn't showing. That's crazy. And he runs home and it's just a chicken. That's okay. Congratulations.
Congrats, though, I guess, to the chicken.
How the terrifying conspiracy theory is taking over the alt-right.
The environmental movement needs to reckon with its racist history. I learned how to be an ethical slut through polyamory.
Oh, it was like, okay, so we watched this amazing video yesterday, this piece of satire. It was probably my favorite video I've seen on the internet in like 6 months. It was called Unethical Monogamy. And it's this video where this girl with a completely deadpan face she goes, you know, I've been in a lot of relationships, but what it was is Quiznos paid me to take men on dates to Quiznos.
What?
Sometimes I drive 2 to 3 hours away, depending on where they live, and it's like, and even if I wouldn't see them again, I'd always have to leave the date on a good note, so they would correlate good feelings with Quiznos. And I was watching it, and it's just
literally brainwashing.
We live in such a stupid world now, where I'm like, depending on the day, I could believe it. I mean, like that's dope, but marketing budget, Quiznos, that's fantastic.
It makes sense.
Does anybody even eat Quiznos anymore?
First dates at Quiznos. It's not common, but
no, it's but she chose it. So the guy's like, look, she's not pretentious. She doesn't need me to take her out to a nice restaurant.
She doesn't even want Subway.
She wants actually that's a Quiznos is a step up from Subway. You don't want to go to creepy Jared's old. Stop
Creepy Jared.
Creepy Jared.
Oh, I forgot how creepy Jared was.
Yeah, he's in jail forever.
Wow.
Jared had his moment in the sun when he lost all that weight and he was Mr. Subway, right? And then what was it like
CP?
Ugh.
Yeah. Not good.
Yeah.
Imagine the boardroom the day after that comes out. And they're like, okay, rebrand.
They had to have an emergency meeting.
Like they're just like all the coke was getting snorted that day while they tried to figure out what the hell to do. They're like, how the hell are we gonna fix this? Like,
get the Italian subs.
Yeah.
All the 2 weeks
This is
notices
an all-nighter.
on the table.
Yeah. Okay, so rest in peace, Vice.
Rest in piss.
I hardly knew you.
I just think that it's kind of telling that we find out about their demise the same week as they came out with that awful documentary on Johnny Depp, The 9 Lives of Johnny Depp. I don't know.
Yep, it's a symptom.
It's fitting.
It's a symptom of the downfall, right?
Yep.
All right, guys, what would you like to see? Cringe or cute of the day? Either of you. Cringe first, cute first.
Cringe.
Cringe?
Cringe.
Cringe first?
All right.
Okay. We'll look at cringe first. Which one should we look at today? I think we'll do... This one was from earlier this week. I decided to save it. I'm sure some of you saw this stuff on the internet. This is the NYPD dance team.
Yeah,
They have their
lifting
own-
up the spirits.
They have their own team of dancers, and I'm just going to say none of them look like dancers to me. But of course, I'm judging a book by its cover here.
Amazing.
I would be embarrassed. Are they not embarrassed to... God.
This is what they're doing instead of combating crackheads.
Are these actual cops?
Apparently.
I'm wondering if this is like one of those things where it's like they call you to their apartment. They're like, look, a guy broke into my apartment. He's stealing all my stuff. And they're like, best I can do is choreography dance. Best I can do.
They're not even good.
No. Wow, this is pathetic. What show is this? Is this some New
They're
York,
like on
New York
Good
TV
Morning
station?
America or something.
Oh my God.
This would ruin my day if this is how we started my morning.
I imagine this dance is called the stop and frisk.
Girl in the front thinks she ate.
I used to be a dancer, so I took many years of dance. I was on the high school dance team and all of that. And I just have to say, like, this is embarrassing.
Do the Giuliani.
They're not-
Do the Giuliani.
This is
Do the stop and frisk.
Yes, it's the stop and frisk and the Giuliani. That's what this dance is called.
It's like, what's that movie, Set It Off, where it's like, you got served, and it's like, this is how you really put your enemies in their place.
Set it off.
Like, why fight criminals, like putting them in jail when you can just like
Do a
serve
dance
them?
off.
Yeah.
Slay off.
Thank you.
Thank you. Speaking of dance team, we have a PCC dance team.
I wonder, okay, we'll have to do like an over-under. How long will we have to have this crisis party sound before we stop dancing when the music comes on?
It'll get stale.
Eventually. Carter will have to make a remix of the remix at a certain point. All right, let's go ahead and stop it. Woo! Okay, we're good. Let's go ahead and
The
get
money
started
guns
first.
are going
Mary,
rogue.
tell everybody what the hell's going on with Beyonce.
Well, earlier this week we said
I
that.
gotta do cute of the day. I almost shortchanged it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I was so distracted by Vice News and dancing cops that I almost forgot to show you guys something that's actually worth looking at, which is all of your pets. Here's first. This is from Olivia Clare. She says, posting Rafa here for a viewer, Annie, still from Scotland, that doesn't have a Twitter. Look at this sweet boy. She said she's a 3-year-old Norwegian forest cat who loves coffee and food.
Aww. I like the goatee on this one.
Just looking at that cat is triggering my allergies.
You're allergic to cats?
It depends on the cat.
I don't
That's
envy
a
you.
lot of fur there.
That's
Look
a
at
lot
that
of fur.
long. I can see it's a Norwegian cat. Yeah.
All right, let's do one more here. This is from John Solis. Says left to right, Gretchen, Richard, and Arya, Victoria in front. Don't let the cuteness fool you. They can be demons, especially when the little one in front when she runs the house.
Descended from wolves, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, little cavalier. I love a tricolor.
Don't let the cuteness fool you. That's like Fannie Willis. Did you see her court case? She says, don't get cute with me and not expect an answer.
All right, guys, remember I just went through and uploaded a bunch of the cute of the days to make sure that we have enough for the week. So if you want to submit hashtag PCC Pets, tag me in it, and I will always see it first. But other times I have to go back and check the hashtag. All right, now
we're
go
going to
ahead
talk
and
about
let everybody
Beyonce. Earlier this week, we said Beyonce is trying to infiltrate country music, and I think she has successfully done it because now she is topping the charts for country music with her new singles 16 Carriages and Texas Hold'em. Beyonce becomes the first black woman to claim the top spot on Billboard's country music charts. And I saw this headline from Fox: Beyonce's new country song highlights the genre's racist exclusion of black artists, media argues.
Did you see the thing going around like a couple weeks back where T-Pain talked about how he used to write music for country artists and then he started doing it. Now he does it without putting his name on it because of the racism that would come with it.
What?
I don't know how that works, but
They just have such a low opinion of country fans, and that's what's really bitter about it. Is like the Beehive is like attacking country fans.
I'm just
right
over
now.
here like Darius Rucker's been a thing since the 90s.
And we talked about this. They attacked this country music station from this like local area that didn't know she put out country songs, and they were saying it's racist that you're not playing her songs when they weren't even like aware. We're a country station.
boomers.
Of course, we don't play Beyonce.
They were boomers.
And then they turned it into something.
They made it into a race thing, and
of course,
it's just like
Ridiculous.
of course.
Do you like the songs?
I love the songs.
Like the songs?
I think the songs are great. Like the song, like Beyonce put out a country song in like 2016 called Daddy Lessons, and I did like an experiment of people who I knew that loved country and like had different tastes, and a couple of them, like I didn't tell them it was Beyonce. I just said like, look, listen to this new song. They're like, this is a good song. Then I said it was Beyonce, and they're like, oh. And then they suddenly were just like, they were so thrown by the fact that they liked a Beyonce song.
I wasn't a huge fan of the first one. I thought the second one, the
16 Carriages was alright,
better.
but it's more like gospel inspired
Yeah,
than
that's
it
like
is
soul
country.
blues.
It feels like I was like, this doesn't feel like putting twang doesn't necessarily make isn't necessarily a country make, right? Like
Yeah.
it's the second one felt more gospel, which is fine. Like that's a genre that I can get behind. But how do you feel about this? You wrote a pretty extensive tweet here.
Yeah.
I did. I have a hot take on
We had your
this.
hot take here. You said, if you follow me, you know I hate when black people use the racism card unnecessarily or play the victim. That being said, you also know when there's actually racism, I'll call it out. Much of the backlash Beyonce is receiving for making a country album is racist. If Katy Perry, Britney Spears, pre-mental illness, or Lady Gaga made a country album, there would not be a fraction of the backlash that Beyonce is getting. I'll never forget the racist comments people made when Beyonce performed at the Country Music Awards, when she made her first country song, or when R&B singer K. Michelle attempted to go country and was bullied out of the genre. Now, I don't know anything about that situation.
Yeah, so hear me out, and thank you for
Defend
reading
your
the tweet.
take.
I will stand on business with this take because I got a lot of flack for this. So I'm one of the first people to say, like, I do not think systemic racism is a thing in America anymore. I don't, but I do think there are like categories and subgenres within certain industries that there are issues. Like Eminem definitely dealt with some racially based prejudice when he got into rap, and it's kind of similar when it comes to some black artists going into country. Now what's happening right now with Beyonce, in my opinion, I don't think it's the country music fans who are giving Beyonce backlash because she's black. Like, some people just don't like the song. That's totally fair. Some people don't like that Beyonce, being the artist she is going in the country. That is totally fair. But it's more like there is like a big gatekeeping that happens with particularly black female artists who have tried to get into country over time. Like when Beyonce performed at the Country Music Awards, she did her song Daddy Lessons with Dixie Chicks. And I remember Twitter, like even before Twitter was allowed to be unhinged, the comments that people were making about her, they were like literally just like comments about her race and like not liking her and calling her N-word and stuff. And again, like, I'm not a race baiter. I hate when people play the race card, but like I did see a lot of that very directly. And then K. Michelle is another artist. She's from the South like Beyonce, and she tried to get in the country. She was always doing R&B, and the amount of hell they put her through, like the country music stations were banning her. All these people who were like, they were saying like if she was on this stage, they weren't going to get on this stage. This is all what was alleged behind the scenes. Like, obviously I can't necessarily say what's true and what's not, but just from what I've seen, so much of the gatekeeping that goes to Beyonce is because she is a black artist trying to get into rap, because black people also just historically, and I'll finish this rant, it's been hard for them to transition out of R&B and hip hop in the ways that some artists are. Like Drake was getting pissed that he was putting out straight up pop songs, and the Grammys wouldn't allow them to be considered pop. They were put into R&B or rap, even though they were literally just pop. And Normani, she tried to go into like directly just bubblegum pop music, and they told her, no, you have to be pigeonholed into R&B.
Could part of the Dixie Chicks backlash be because the Dixie Chicks got a lot of backlash from country artists back in the day because of their Bush comments?
Yeah, I know that there's a lot of like hate towards the Dixie Chicks in general, but also, just like could this be a gendered thing? Like I think of like Darius Rucker, right, who's a country artist. There's more than a couple, right, who would be considered country artists that are black and male, and doesn't seem like, because he just did traditional, rock music with Hootie and the Blowfish back in the 90s before transitioning to country music, and he's very well liked within that industry. And I think a lot of it, perhaps race plays a part of it, but also there is a large pushback against the idea of pop country.
I don't think
that's like a lot of people look at artists like Sam Hunt and they say this isn't country, this is just pop music with a twang, and they feel like more and more people are encroaching in on something that they love and watering it down and making it something there isn't. But the lowest IQ people tend to be the ones that get the most attention online because they'll post the vile comments. But I think that maybe the core of the problem is that people feel like somebody who started off in another genre is they're basically a dabbler, right? They're just passing through to do it because it's in right now, rather than because they actually feel like they care about it.
I mean, the problem is the Beyonce stans, not Beyonce herself in this situation. And I think like it's not, personally, I don't think it's a race or a gender thing. I think that country fans and country artists just aren't allowed to have a spine anymore. You need a little bit of gatekeeping for your genre to even be differentiated. They've been put through the ringer because they're like associated with Republicans, basically. That's basically it. And Maren Morris just made this dramatic exit out of the country genre because it's so homophobic, it's so transphobic, and it's so racist and all this, blah, blah, blah. And she said, I think leaning into country elements and reclaiming country music back to black people because they created the genre is such a statement in regards to Beyonce.
Throw up.
Did they create the genre?
I guess going back to like thinking of like blues and like Elvis, the stuff that inspired like Elvis Presley and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't.
It's
I don't know. No
subjective.
expert.
Like
Yeah,
you
it
could
is.
use selective evidence.
There's
for
a $20
either way.
one right there from Ethan Miller. Says gatekeeping is a good thing. If we don't make distinctions between things, everything would be the same and the quality will go down all around. This is a don't make fun of what we love thing. I know that the language of that is a little bit loaded, but they're right. Like, if you don't gatekeep a little bit, what happens is everything becomes pop music on the radio, which it is now, right? And it's like that example I always give where the guy goes and does man on the street interviews with kids. He goes, what kind of music, like, what kind of bands do you like? He goes, I don't know, whatever's on Spotify. That's tragic. To not have like specific artists from specific genres that you like is like you're actually doing yourself a disservice to not go and explore other things, to just say hit random on playlist and just listen to whatever comes on. But the difference is back in the day there was a vastly different culture from genre to genre. Toby Keith is not going to go into the studio with West Side Connection and immediately get along with them.
But like, okay,
Culture shock.
a white
Everybody's
country
different.
artist, like if Morgan Wallen just came out with a rap album,
I mean, he actually gets along
he
with,
got made fun of.
Lil Durk and stuff.
Whoever it is, like if Toby Keith, like for instance, if any white country artist made a rap album and they were made fun of for it, they couldn't claim racism for it.
I mean,
know?
it depends on the nature of the attacks. I don't say that every attack towards Beyonce doing country has to do with race, but some people, like if you search, and I know this is like such a straw man because you could say this about pretty much anything, but if you like search particularly some of the things that people are saying about Beyonce, like some of them are just like straight up like talking about her race. And I feel like, for example, Lady Gaga, someone said that it wouldn't be people would be just as mad if Katy Perry or Lady Gaga went to country, but not really, because Lady Gaga borderline went into country with her album Joanne, and that album completely relaunched her career. So it wasn't the same amount of flack that Lady Gaga got versus the immediate backlash that Beyonce got for going country when Beyonce grew up in the South and listening to country. So
my main problem with it is I just think her songs suck. Those
And
two
that's fair.
singles,
I don't like her songs.
Texas Hold'em was really bad.
But you liked it, right? You think it's really good?
Yeah, I think everybody has like the right to obviously have their own music taste.
Yeah.
I don't know.
John Schneider also made a comment about this.
Not the best.
Compared Beyonce to a dog peeing on a tree, as in marking her territory in every corner of the planet.
What he's saying is a very, very
Pretty crass.
crudely put point of what I was saying, is that these big pop artists who have all of this clout and all of this reputation come in from their very, very watered down genre. The pop genre encompasses a lot of things now, and then they're just, I'm gonna do a country. And then they do it, and then I'm gonna make me a country song.
And then if country fans don't like it, they're the problem.
Yes.
Like
Okay,
they get
so-
uniquely targeted because of the political leanings of country fans.
I would rather everyone just got along. I would. Like
That
I said,
would be nice, wouldn't
It is
it?
funny when Morgan Wallen like got caught on camera saying the N-word going into his house on like a Ring camera from his neighbor, and
That's
Lil Durk,
so insane.
and
Like
Lil
you're
Durk-
literally like the Stasi.
and Lil Durk was like, I don't care. He's like, I'm over it. He apologized. It's fine. I'd rather that, right? Everyone just get along. And there's a lot of really, really funny, like actually good like mixes of like Lil Durk and Morgan Wallen songs, or like various other rap artists who work, like who do songs. They're not actually theirs, but producers will mix verses, and they sound fine. They sound good. But the problem is that there's too much money to be made and too much fun to be had with people arguing on the internet, which ends up being what this stuff boils down to. But she hit #1. Okay, so she wins in the end either way.
She mogged them.
And the problem is,
She
it was off
mogged
to a
them.
bad start anyways when this country station got like called racist, when it was basically just a bunch of boomers who don't get the news on Twitter, who didn't know that there was a new country song coming out by her, and they got labeled as bad people when there's like, oh, she's making a country song. Yeah, we'll play that when it makes it to our market.
Yeah.
But they didn't
They
know.
literally just got swarmed online by the
It's just
Beehive,
it's a very
figuratively.
like crass comment, but yeah, I don't think it's like racist in particular.
All right, let's go to Super Chats, Mary.
Okay. Shane H. Wilder said, Happy Friday, Brett, Mary, Xavier, and Kurtz. Brett did nothing untoward while you were gone, Mary, so you may leave the holy water at home. Good to know you didn't invite any psychics on the show.
I wanted to, but I didn't invite any. I didn't invite any psychics. It'd be great though.
DCNC said, bar fight tally update. I am still at 1, and I hope that it stays that way.
You got into a bar fight?
Yeah. This
You
came
won,
up on the
right?
show before. I don't know who won. Everyone loses. Everyone loses.
That
Nah.
usually means you lost.
we were broken up. It wasn't even like, it didn't go on that long. So it was because that happened at the same time as CPAC in 2020. And they were like, oh, you're going to CPAC again? You're going to get into a bar fight again?
I just cannot envision you in a bar fight.
Well, I'll show you the
You're
video
spunky.
later.
I can see it. I can see it.
DCNC said, Xaviaer, can you say your name as French as possible, please? You did oblige. So Shane H. Wilder said, I dread the day fart is examined and spoken of the way we do Handel's Messiah.
Let's do one more.
Serenko Productions said, speaking of stupid things, thoughts on the Netflix Avatar The Last Airbender adaptation. Spoilers, it's absolute trash.
I've seen mixed reviews on this. Some people saying it's not as bad as they're saying it was. The best part has been all the M. Night Shyamalan memes.
It's somehow worse than the M. Night
Is
Shyamalan
it?
one, because at least that one took itself seriously. I tried to get through the pilot yesterday, and I can't even put it into words, but you know when you can tell that a movie was made in China or India and is made for an audience in China or India, that's how it felt. Like, and they had Aang like flying around basically on strings, you know, without the glider.
gosh.
And he's like flying around, and I'm like, I hate this kid. Like, I don't like him. And they got rid of they got rid of sexist Sokka and stuff like that. Totally changed everything just for the hell of it.
All right,
It's terrible.
Let's hold off on the rest and come back. Let's go on, Mary. What's going on with all these men who are not becoming feminists?
Oh, I thought we were going into the deadbeat dad.
Oh, yes, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, let's go.
Well, this is really important. This is an important social issue right now. A dad and daughter are battling it out on TikTok right now for the reputation of their family. This girl named Maddie Hart made a TikTok asking everyone to share their funny trauma. And we showed this as a cringe of the day last week. She said, what's your funny trauma? My funny trauma is that my dad abandoned our family, me and my 3 siblings, to go become a professional break dancer in his 60s. And she even showed all of these videos of him. Like, he went on Good Morning America. He danced with Paula Abdul. He found like glory in his breakdancing career.
The thing that makes it funny, she goes, and he's good, and that's the
and
worst
he's
part.
good. And it was funny trauma, to be honest. But he decided to make a response video after it was called to his attention that his reputation was being dragged through the mud on TikTok. And he did so in a shirt with the Bitcoin logo all over it.
I'm telling you, he's B-Boy Bitcoin. That's his name.
He said, I wake up at 6 a.m. to find that my daughter has posted a TikTok video trashing me. She's a big social media influencer with millions of followers. So,
but he owns an advertising company.
Should we show the response video, at least some of it? It's 10 minutes long, so it's not really worth getting into the whole thing.
The 10-minute one?
Yeah, just like let's look at the beginning, because we can see where she gets her personality.
To do some work,
it's genetic.
I get my coffee. Okay, I wake up at 6 a.m. to do some work. I get my coffee. I sit down. I open my computer. And what am I greeted with? Well, hundreds of comments calling me a deadbeat dad, a child abandoner, and all manner of other insults.
Technically,
So
that's
I think,
true.
What's this all about? Well, after a few minutes of investigation, I discover that my daughter, Maddie, has made a video about me. She's a screenwriter in Hollywood. She's also a big social media influencer with millions of followers. Some of her videos get millions
so
of
unserious.
views. And this video has tens of millions of views. 1 million likes, 20,000 comments, 40,000.
I'm sorry, the way he's just sitting deadpan in the chair like your deadbeat dad sits when you get home from school and has all day is the best part of this. He hasn't got up from the chair since he left her all those years ago.
Hey, that's a throne.
Yeah.
30,000 reposts. It's just insane.
I can see,
So
I can
thought
picture
I'd
the
better
beard
watch this
right
video.
next to it.
And frankly, I was pretty chagrined by what I heard, to say the least.
Chagrined.
To say the
honestly,
least.
The more I watch this video, the more I like it. Well, I like about 98% of it. However, I do need to correct a few statements in the video. But first, Let's just watch Maddie's 90-second video, and then I'll give you my comments.
What's a piece of trauma that you have that's funny? It has to actually be funny. I'll go first. My dad abandoned my family when I was 5 years old. That is a wife and 4 kids. He abandoned us and then pursued amateur breakdancing.
Some more context is needed here, needless to say.
But pro-Bitcoin, that's the real thing.
I will talk about this in a moment. All right, let's continue with the video.
Wait.
And he got really good. He like blew up. Like he became like a D-list celebrity status, like viral breakdancer. He became like the oldest actively competing breakdancer in the world. Then he got on Good Morning America and talk shows, and Washington Post wrote about him, and he went super viral, and he did all these interviews, and he danced with Paula Abdul. And here, I'll show you.
To see, take a look at this 60-year-old breakdancer. Yes, 60.
He's pretty good.
Impressive, I know.
You gotta give him that.
He's like, yeah, 8.
He's competing
He's loving it.
Philadelphia, and he may not have won, but I tell you what, he is winning over a lot of people on the internet. Yes. He really is. Yep, he's winning over a lot of people on the internet.
This guy wouldn't pay my medical bills.
That is not true. More on that in a minute.
At least she's a fan.
The worst part, damn it, he's good. He should not be able to move his body like that. It's like impossible. It's beautiful. Hey, Dad.
Thank you, Maddie.
Like there was no split custody or anything. Like he just like left 4 kids to do that.
Okay, so we can't get into all of his rebuttals, but he corrected the record on a number of issues. He said that he paid out a total of $5 million in the divorce, which means he definitely
a lot of money.
Provided for whatever medical bills or whatever needs for the children.
I also love that Elon Musk responded to this personally.
Yes, this blew up.
You are awesome.
Elon saw this. That's how much attention this got on the timeline, that Elon saw this and he supports the dad.
Elon's supposed to be getting us to Mars. Why is he watching breakdance?
How does he have the time of day?
He's very active
He doesn't
online.
have the time of day. He's
on
always
Twitter. It's crazy.
tweeting. He's like, I got on a phone call
He's
with
very
the guy from Google.
hands-on
I'm like,
CEO.
how did the guy from Google find your phone number? How did that happen?
So he said, I paid out $5 million in the divorce. He says that he moved only down the street, a bike ride away, and he wasn't an absentee father. And he says that he didn't even start breakdancing until like 5 years after the divorce, so it wasn't exactly like that.
Who filed for the divorce? The mom?
He didn't say who filed, but he said that the divorce was 70% his fault. So he blames himself mostly for the divorce.
He took 70% responsibility.
Who knows?
That's more than most do.
Who knows exactly what happened? But as this continues, we might learn. Someone said, I'm gonna be honest, doing a video about how your daughter is a lying bitch might not move the needle as much as you were hoping on the deadbeat dad thing. And then a lot of people remembered this is the same TikToker who made a video about how she felt the feminism evaporating from her body when she finally went on a date with a normal guy who paid for her drinks. So it's telling about the female psyche, that she became this feminist Hollywood screenwriter and she was brainwashed in college. Her dad's not in the picture. Like, it's like a telenovela almost. Yeah. Very intriguing. That had my neurons sizzling. So others took his side. They said he's so jovial and good faith on his daughter's slanderous video. Seems like a particularly good guy, good-humored, good dad, would hang out with him. Also, though, the dad is in marketing and has a career in screenwriting. Very possible this was a coordinated campaign. People think that they're teaming up to get engagement off of this.
I totally agree with that. My spy sensibilities are trying.
Yeah,
I think there was a coordinated.
Is a CIA black op?
Yes.
Yeah,
no, but seriously, I don't think it's. Yeah, I think they're teaming up.
Yeah, because she's like such a visible fan watching his videos. Like she's like sitting there cracking up, and he's like smiling, watching her be proud of him.
Yeah.
It's like if this is really your deadbeat dad, that like
yeah.
you have a personality trait that's based on your trauma from him leaving you. Like I really doubt you're actually watching his videos and enjoying it to that
Meanwhile,
extent.
like people with actual trauma from their parents abandoning them are like, this isn't very fair to us.
I think this is a story about the fact that divorce is nasty, and she probably got her mom's side of the story about what happened. Didn't hear much positive stuff about
he didn't pay
dad.
Any alimony. Mom didn't share that she got $5 million from the guy.
Right.
Yeah, so she actually made a response video to his response video.
Somebody
I'm not
get
kidding.
these two in the same coffee shop. will ya?
Seriously, I want them to reunite. I want this to have a happy ending. But she said, I wasn't aware of all the financial stuff, and
Mom lied to her.
The medical bill that he didn't pay, that was when I was in college. She said that it was a lie that he lived down the street from her, that he actually moved to Florida with a new wife, and they saw each other like once every few months for that period of time. But I think we can all agree, like, just providing money isn't the whole responsibility of a dad. Like, he should have been more active in her life. Sure.
If this is
if
legit.
any of this is legit, which is a big
but-
if, because I mean, she's obviously full of it, and I think he's obviously full of it, and it runs in the family.
How many views are they getting? Have they gotten a lot of
Millions
attention?
and tens of millions.
Yeah, well,
And
it's
I mean,
worked for
the
him.
fact that Elon saw it.
This is a
crazy.
This is just a repost from somebody on the internet, and it's got 433,000.
Yeah, yeah. Do you want to look at her response?
Yep, here we go.
I'm recording a quick response to all this. I'll probably delete this in the morning because, like, I don't actually have, like, bad will. I posted my video because it's a very funny story. It's very silly. I like to laugh at my trauma instead of, like, being super sad about it. But I know my dad posted, like, a 10-minute video or whatever being like, my daughter's lying. We have a great relationship. I have a great relationship with all my kids. That's just objectively not true. Like, guys, we're all freaking out about this in my family group chat right now. We're being like, he's so unhinged and delusional. We don't know if he actually believes his own narrative or if he's lying on purpose, but he's just like a weird guy. He said he lived down the street from us. That's
He does
not
seem
true.
weird.
Or like if he did, it was only for a few months maybe, but
She's weird
actually
too.
for most of my
Yeah.
childhood, I
Perfect.
lived in Florida with his new wife. Like, basically, like, I don't want to get into this. Like, again, like, my video was basically, like, sanitizing the situation and, like, poking fun at the lightest parts of that childhood trauma. But obviously, in real life, it was a lot more, like, complicated and traumatic. And it was really hard. He left us, immediately married another woman. We didn't hear from him for years. And then he would visit every few months, and we'd go out to dinner. But, like, he truly had no hand in raising us at all. We don't speak with any sort of regularity. He doesn't know when my birthday is. Like, as you guys saw in the video I posted, he got it wrong. He gave us some money growing up. I honestly don't know the nitty gritty of the financial situation. I really
Maybe
don't.
you shouldn't be talking
but
about
I
it.
do know that
Right.
sometimes I've asked him for financial help with medical expenses, like especially.
He's like, I heard
like,
he gave your mom
college.
$5 million.
He wouldn't
How
help
much
me.
you want?
That's what I was referring to in my video when I was like, he wouldn't pay some of my medical bills. I'll probably delete this in the morning, but I'm,
Cap.
2 hard kombuchas in, and so I feel the need to kind of
Kombuchas.
defend me and my family's like POV. Bottom line is, this guy was a completely absent father.
Technically, that's not true because he took you to dinner sometimes. A completely absent father completely leaves.
I think this is the most iconic
Father
duo. Like, Hollywood screenwriter, TikToker daughter, Bitcoin loving, breakdancing dad. I want them to reunite.
I mean, I'm not convinced that he had no part in her life because they have the exact same personality.
They do.
It's like
and
he
the same
definitely has
smile.
this
Like
too.
they look so alike.
They're enjoying this, or they're enjoying the attention and money they're getting from it.
Yeah, so then
And I would
just
too.
today I saw he posted a part 2 response video
30
to her response video.
Call each
That's
other.
30 minutes long, and we are not even going to get into that. But
Why don't they just call each other?
just have a phone call. We
Or
don't need to
TikTok
be involved.
Live.
Like,
Since we are involved, put it on TikTok Live. I'm all up in their family group chat.
Part 2, my Hollywood daughter continues social media storm against me. Her Bitcoiner breakdancing
This one's
dad.
got
That is a
1.7
headline.
million views.
Already. This is a day old. And he's like posting parts of her like child home videos here. It's crazy. I just feel like I shouldn't be involved, but also I'm too curious for my own good. So I'm definitely gonna watch this later.
Yeah, I'm just
But-
nosy. If you put it out there, I'm gonna look. And I guess that's why millions of people are watching.
It's definitely not a good look for him if he's trying to score points with people.
Maybe we get him on PCC and bring them
We need
together.
to, use this platform for good.
reconciliation.
Let's get to some truth, guys. Let's get to
Family
some
court
truth.
services.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
The mom can come in and sit over there, and then we'll fact check her whenever the daughter's like, "You didn't help us." And we're like, "Is that true?" And he's like, "Actually, I gave you this much money when I had this age." And they're like, "Mom, why did you lie to her?"
It's just crazy how this has like taken over my algorithm for days.
I'm glad this hasn't hit mine yet.
I was gonna say I have a good algorithm then, I guess, better than I thought, because I'm not
every
getting
word. But yeah, like I don't take either side. I think that they're both incredibly charming though. And I want them to get back together.
I worked in divorce law for 2 years, so I am well aware that all these people are lying. Like, I know a liar when I see one, but they're doing it for a check. And you know what? Sometimes the bag is right. Money does buy happiness if you know where to shop.
Yeah.
So what he should do is he should get her like a matching Bitcoin shirt. So that they can go and
the only thing that could be worse is if he went into beatboxing.
That would be her 9/11.
That would have been very...
Then I would be on her side.
That would be very 90s, like very late 90s. It'd be amazing. All right, let's go to Super Chats.
Not that Jon Stewart said it's a chicken parm with pepperoni on it. Okay, good point.
That doesn't make it
Chizza.
bad. It just looks gross to me because chicken and pizza just don't go. They don't mix.
No. Shane H. Wilder said, as I twixt, KFC is the same company that threw a bunch of crap in a bowl and called it the famous bowl. What do you expect?
Well, there's nothing wrong with that, you know? Just throw it at the wall, see what sticks.
Corey Anderson said, ladies, you're looking fantastic today. Gentlemen, howdy. Mary, how was CPAC? I did not end up going to CPAC, but even if I did, I would not have much to report.
I feel like we look fantastic too.
No, we do.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah. You're looking like strapping young gentlemen. G. Santoyo said, I saw a snail crawl on the edge of a razor.
Oh, it's Apocalypse Now. Colonel Kurtz reference.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
CJ asked Xavier, Trump or Nikki?
Nikki.
Oh,
are you a Nikki person?
I will literally. You thought I was defending Beyonce. I will defend Nicki Minaj with my life.
I don't know.
Loyal to
After
that
this
island gal.
beef with Megan Thee Stallion, I'm definitely anti-Nikki.
Meg Thee Stallion told Nicki to go abort her baby that she had been trying to get pregnant with for so long.
You are twisting the situation because on the video, she doesn't even know that Nicki is pregnant. She's saying like, "Oh, I'm trying to get pregnant right now."
Well, that was about the drinking.
And
but
her
then after
knowing that Nicki's husband is a registered sex offender, I wouldn't support the decision to have a child with him anyway.
That is 30-year-old T. They were
30-year-old
They were
T.
a year apart from each other.
Being on the sex offender registry, that's what you would call
That's not cool.
T.
Yeah. So
it's 30-year-old.
And then with her brother, the situation with her defending and
that's not
supporting
her
her brother, I mean, that's
not my business. That's like some family drama. See, she didn't make it.
Look, if you're in the business of defending Nicki Minaj.
I am.
So...
I'm ready. I'm ready. Look, Megan had her twisted. Megan has continuously came at Nicki Minaj sideways. I mean, just.
This is not a good look for you.
Why do they have this?
You do not want to die on this hill.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Do two more.
DCNC said, Will murdered by spaghetti. It's Dwayne all over again.
Eventually what I like the idea is like every year all these AI companies just start using Will Smith and spaghetti as like their baseline for how much the technology has improved until one day it's photorealistic, and that's how we know that AI video has reached its zenith.
Shane H. Wilder said, CJ super chatting with Xavier's on last time these two were together on PCC. Mary nearly died of laughter. Xavier say that dog is not real. I forgot about that.
That motherfucker is not real. Iconic.
All right, let's hold off on the rest. All right, Mary, now tell us about where the hell all the male feminists have gone.
The media intelligentsia is currently freaking out and having panic attacks because research suggests that Gen Z males are rejecting feminism, as Gen Z females are increasingly embracing feminism and drifting further and further left. Gen Z men are actually resembling more so the political and social views of their grandfather's generation. New research reveals Gen Z men are more conservative than boomers. We speak to 3 male feminists about their experiences. They're asking, where are all the young male feminists? How are we going to keep it together?
Maybe the problem is all the male feminists who get caught doing evil shit, and that they've just kind of made the label bad.
I say never trust a male feminist.
Never.
Because why are you trying so hard to appear harmless?
Yep.
We can all see right through it.
Smoke screen, yes.
So this new study says masculinity and women's equality study finds emerging gender divide in young people's attitudes. And this is a worrying trend that, in decades past, young people ebbed and flowed politically. where they would go further right or they go further left, but it was uniform between men and women. Like millennials, for instance, they mostly were trending left. But now it's a sex divide for their political views, where they're just going in opposite directions completely, and it's not a good sign for these Gen Z people pairing up together as well. They don't have similar values.
Both sides of the political spectrum have a certain sect of their cause that speaks specifically to men and women. And I say all the time, I was like, look, the political right as well as the social right is awful at courting women. They're awful at it. The only thing worse would be how bad the left is at trying to court like actual men as opposed to like the men that they basically raised through the public school system, right? And that's not going away, I don't think, because these topics, they are money makers for everybody. If you want to make a lot of money online, it's to make a video about how the opposite sex has wronged you, or in some way the opposite sex is wrong about something. There's very little money to be made in saying like this is a problem that affects both of us, because there's more nuance required to do things like that, and the internet hates nuance for the most part.
Well, I think that this is something to be white-pilled about, honestly. The trends for young men, at least. It says that in this survey, young men are more likely to have negative. No, for the guys,
no, I know, but no,
they're
guys
more likely to have negative attitudes towards gender equality compared to young women, and in some cases, they are no more supportive of action on gender equality than old men.
Yeah.
I think it's because Gen Z men are becoming more conservative because millennial men were such simps, and Gen Z women are becoming everything that Gen Z men do not want. Like, nobody wants to date an OnlyFans girl, but it's so many of the girls, especially like in Los Angeles, are now just on OnlyFans. Nobody wants to date them. Nobody wants to date these girls with these feminist expectations of like, oh, like, how dare you assume that you're supposed to pay for the first date, but then at the same time, it's like, how dare you not pay for the first date? We're sick and tired of that. We just want things to be more traditional, how they used to be. Like, let men just do what men want to do and what men are just inherently programmed to do and go about their business. But Gen Z women are making that increasingly difficult and increasingly unrealistic, and the expectations of what Gen Z men are supposed to bring to the table is also continuing to increase, or some of that has been, it's the same, but it's much more difficult to accomplish now. Like, we're supposed to be the providers and buy homes and buy all these gifts and flowers and all these things. Do you know how expensive all of that is? And Gen Z men can't afford to do it because liberal policies have made everything unattainable for us. So that's why I think
it's more expensive in the figurative sense too, when you're doing it for someone who is, not worth the effort.
You're
unfortunately,
not
because these young women are so conditioned, they're expecting the men to continue being traditional while they're, gallivanting about saying they don't need no man. Like, there was literally this video that recently went viral. It's just a street interview. I mean, you don't let that color your whole opinion of the world, but they're asking all of these young women on the street, do you need a man, or do we need men in society in general? And all of them are saying, no, we don't need men for anything. I don't need a man. And it's not trendy to say the opposite. And they're all kind of trending that way. And I think that it could turn toxic if the young men try to, if young men conclude from that they're just going to be single forever, they're going to be playboys forever, they're not going to aspire toward marriage at all. But on the other hand, they're seeking self-improvement instead of the approval of women. They're in a new community of looks maxers. They're turning to looks maxing and self-improvement instead of looking for the validation of these young women who don't know what the hell is going on. New York Times covered this trend. Young men seek answers to an age-old question: how to be hot. Looks maxers are a booming online community creating new terms for age-old insecurities. And they highlighted this one influencer who goes by the name Syrian Psycho. His name is Kareem Shami, and he's 22 years old. He's a college student, and he makes looks maxing content on TikTok for other young men, where they talk about like how to increase your jawline and your testosterone, how to like bulk up and get muscles, and your skincare routine, and like getting sleep, and all this stuff that is, generally good advice that a lot of women have been taking for a long time. And young men need to hear that, especially ones that are being raised in this fatherless society. They're not getting advice from men. They need to go to social media to get it. It's not an ideal situation. But now they're attending an institution online called Mogwarts. And it was started by Kareem Shami, Syrian psycho, this 22-year-old. It has a disclaimer: Mogwarts Enterprises, LLC, is not in any way affiliated with J.K. Rowling, Warner Brothers, or any company, copyright, or trademark. But essentially, this is a self-improvement online course for men with weekly classes on how to looks-max yourself and how to reach your maximum potential. And I think we should take a look at the trailer for this.
Good evening, and welcome to Mogwarts, a place where transformations aren't just a concept, but a vivid reality. Here, we're not just dedicated to mastering the art of self-improvement, but rather facial aesthetics. You see, our academy offers weekly classes led by renowned people who possess utmost dedication, experience, and credentials. These aren't just teachers, they're influencers who have undergone their own remarkable transformations. We made sure to personalize and cater to your unique journey in self-development and aesthetic needs with our personalized curriculum. Expand your mind by plunging into our vast library of custom textbooks.
He's selling me.
You'll unlock secrets in perfecting your hair, jawline, skincare, eye area, and so much more. These aren't just books, they're gateways to a new you. You know, at Mogwarts, we go beyond just the surface of things. Dive into courses about wealth creation, status, social dynamics, and so much more. All available at no cost. Why? Because we believe in nurturing in every aspect of your persona. If that's not enough for you, engage with our rewarding system, earn points, ascend in ranks, and make your mark on our leaderboard. Remember,
It's giving like a wholesome version of Hustlers University.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear it. There's a plane passing by. Just give it a second. I think
The
it's gone
only
now.
thing that sounded
As I
remotely
was
natural.
saying, if you're concerned about affordability, don't be. You can easily apply for our scholarship program. It's at the very bottom of this website. Just click
It's
sign
a
up.
scholarship program.
And yeah, it's made to ensure that everyone has a chance to shine.
So
And for those that are eager for a taste of Mogwarts, you can easily grab a taste through our
He as much as me. That's not a good sign if he's trying to teach you social dynamics.
The scholarship program, by the way, you earn it by posting a TikTok promoting Mogwarts and getting at least 35,000 views on TikTok.
Genius.
So it is a pretty good business model, to be honest, and he's selling me on it.
But
it's called Mogwarts, by the way, because of the term mogging. If any of you are unaware of this, mogging comes from the term AMOG, which is an acronym for Alpha Male of Group. So if you mog someone, it basically means if you're pictured next to them and you're like serving more, if your face card isn't declining and theirs is, that means you're mogging them.
You have to be the most cunty person in the group.
Yes, exactly. A frequently alluded to technique is called bone smashing, in which a looksmaxer breaks his own jaw or cheekbones in order to make them grow back stronger. Is regarded by many looksmaxers as a joke. However, there were alarmed news articles warning you not to do this. But yeah, they're mewing, like we talked about on a recent episode, where you do this breathing exercise to make yourself have a stronger jawline. But this seems really wholesome, like a self-improvement community that isn't toxic. Even if they sometimes idolize Patrick Bateman, it's fine.
It is giving Patrick Bateman. It's
you can always be thinner and you can always look better. He was right about that.
There's some pictures of some before and afters in the thing.
These are the professors.
Yep, they will teach you the way to both financial independence as well as how to look smacks. You see a lot of advertisements for that stuff now. The thing that's supposed to improve your jawline, stuff
the
like
thing
that.
like bite on.
Yeah, that you're supposed to. Joe Rogan advertises that.
Yeah, they have literature, The Secret of Eye Mastery, The Aristocrat's Jaw Wisdom, The Art of Hair, Dental Secrets, A Guide to Perfecting Teeth, and a whole course about eyebrows.
I will say that what you said is a white pill is absolutely a huge black pill for men. So it's a white pill for you that men are becoming more conservative. It's a black pill for men that women are not. That women are going further and further left. Mm-hmm. So that's, again, falling on gendered lines. That's the problem. Is that what is good for one gender is not good for the other inherently these days. And that's a problem.
Yeah, I'm surprised he isn't like promoting makeup brands and everything yet. You know, I'm admittedly a very high maintenance type of guy, but I can also admit that a lot of this just is not necessary. To be considered a subjectively attractive male, all you really need to do is grow a beard, fade your hair, have a gym membership, and don't be weird. It's that simple.
Don't be weird is the complicated part, I think, for a lot of them. But Mogwarts also teaches courses that are related to personality, not just looks. So it's a holistic view
That I'm here for.
of being attractive.
But is that personality what's pulling? Is that is that guy what
it was only
girls
a
look
minute
for
and a
now?
half. We don't know. We don't know how he comes off.
I feel like you know in the first 15, really 5 seconds.
I don't know. I think he came off as pretty relatable to the target audience, at least.
I don't think he's supposed to come off as relatable. I think he's supposed to come off as something you want to find attainable.
Oh yeah, like he's the hand up. Like
Yes.
you're trying to aspire to be like.
You don't want the guy who's trying to show you the way forward to be relatable. He should be completely unrelatable. He should be something. that
Okay,
you're trying to
I
find
would
your way to.
rather that like these teenage boys, guys in their 20s, are paying for a course like this, or not if they get a scholarship, than paying for an MLM like Hustlers University, where they're just going
What
to
makes
get
this
drained
any
their
less
bank
of an
account?
MLM than what makes this any less? What is this, the kinder face of the MLM? Is this the
Yes.
Is this the this is the MLM without the testosterone? Is that what this one is?
Why are you hating? I thought that you said like self-improvement is such a good thing that should be promoted right now.
Yeah, but charging for your self-improvement is something I don't think you should be doing.
Actually, I do think you should, because I don't even technically believe in free speech. You're gonna have to pay to hear me speak, is how I look at it. So yeah, like, give this man his coins. He's putting a lot of work into helping society.
I think you should be saying like, "Where's your dad?" and "Why isn't he teaching you these things?" Like to these guys.
He went to go get milk and never came back
Why
home.
is your dad not? Yeah.
Well, with the sad reality that, a lot of young men are growing up in fatherless homes or growing up in homes where their fathers aren't really guiding them in these ways, then maybe things like this are just bound to crop up. But
they're filling a market. I
Yeah.
understand. They're filling a market. It's just.
and it's better that they do this rather than go down a toxic rabbit hole where they just want to isolate from society rather than participate in it.
Yeah, I guess I also I look at this dude's hair in this video and I'm like, this is not looks maxing hair to me.
For Zoomers, it is.
It
It is. Yeah, they're going for that look right now.
Yeah, the Timothy era, Timothy Chalamet era.
Yeah, the broccoli heads and all of that.
We'll have to wait and see if this helps a whole new generation of men become better men.
Oh, they also said the self-facing camera has finally turned the male gaze in on itself.
I mean, that's kind of true. One of the things that would have been that women would have found attractive about men is that they wouldn't have seemed so preoccupied about how they looked.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Like if anything, like this is not going to. I don't think that this is going to pull the type of women that supposedly more conservative men want to find.
But are these people necessarily conservative?
Well, I'm just tying it with what we were reading at earlier, which is saying that this generation is becoming more conservative. Well, if this
fair.
generation of increasingly more conservative men thinks that looks maxing is going to pull them conservative women, I just don't know.
Well, I don't think that it has those explicit political leanings to it. I just think, with the pool of young women that is in their dating prospects, focus on yourselves, kings. And
and perhaps if you become more aloof and you seem like you care less, it's actually more attractive to people if you don't look like you're so like you're trying really hard to be that way. There's something attractive about not actually having to work for it. Not
You
trying.
have to make it look effortless.
Yes, making it look effortless. Yes,
There's
exactly.
only a certain extent to which men should be thinking about their appearance. If
was-
you're overly preoccupied, that's very feminine.
I was going to say that was one of the principles of the game, right? That book about being a pickup artist was that you want to project a nonchalance or like a disinterest.
So
right?
what? I don't even care.
Yeah. A lot of it is also about like aspiring to be crazy, but also better than everyone else, like Patrick Bateman. Like, I don't know. I think
hear what
that's.
you're saying.
I think that it's a positive trend, to be honest.
We'll have to wait and see how that works out for Jen.
J.K. Rowling needs to give them some grant money.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
She's like, look, she's like, none of the Harry Potter stars will actually talk to me anymore. I'll talk to these guys.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's go to Super Chats. Gordon Shumway said Charlie Chaplin came in third in a Charlie Chaplin lookalike contest. Now that's an amazing story.
I pointed this out. That was actually referenced in the movie Lucky Number 11.
Josh Hartnett, right?
Yes, with Josh Hartnett and Bruce Willis. And he goes, He goes, let me tell you a story. And he goes, a story? He goes, yeah. He goes, a story is Charlie Chaplin once entered a Charlie Chaplin lookalike contest, came in third. That's a story. Right at the beginning of the movie.
It is a story.
Yep.
DCNC said, Kurtz, adult diapers next show. Gotta demonstrate some professionalism here.
Oh, well, I was going to just apologize. So I am feeling nauseated. I have something called gastroparesis, which sounds really bad, but it's not. But I'm pretty much like on Ozempic basically all the time.
You're on Ozempic?
Well, so what Ozempic does to people, it's the same thing as this condition that I have.
But you're not on Ozempic.
No.
Okay.
No, but it basically like it causes like nausea and delayed gastric emptying. So anyway, long story short, when I'm on a plane for a while, when I'm on a flight, it makes it like way worse. So like for like several days after I'm on a flight, I'll be sick. So I keep getting up because I'm feeling nauseated.
Okay, hope you're okay.
But I'm having a good time.
If you need to take a break, that's fine.
No, I'm okay.
Shane H. Wilder said, I was about to say Vice sinks Q in the arms of the angels. Then you play the video and they beat me to it. LOL.
Yeah.
Good riddance to bad rubbish. It is rubbish.
Do
He also
more.
said, I just got shot. We'll send the JV cheer squad. Corey Anderson said, what is the most weirdest non-criminal thing humans do? I say smelling fingers after scratching themselves.
What?
Oh, gross.
Non-criminal thing.
That's the weirdest non-criminal thing that humans do. I have no idea. It's probably something that would come to me in the moment. I would think about it in the moment, but I wouldn't be able to pull that off the top of my head.
Doing arguments in your head?
Yes.
Oh, that's me. Like, I practice arguments.
You're in the shower and you're like, now actually what?
Yeah, finger guns out. I'm like, and you know what? Matter of fact, first of all,
I think that's the weirdest thing.
You write thumbnails about yourself. I destroyed myself with facts and logic.
Organized Business Services said Wall Street gave Vice News billions of dollars. I'm in the wrong business.
Really?
I should have been a con man and con people out of money. Note to Wall Street, call me. I make money.
Is that how much money has been invested in Vice?
Venture capital for
That is
these companies
crazy.
was in the billions of dollars.
wow.
What a waste.
why-
Let's hold off on the rest and come back after the fact.
Okay.
Let's go
Being
into
woke
it.
is so profitable. It's like, that's why I hate when people say that because I used to be woke and became conservative. It's like, oh, you're grifting. I would be rich as hell had I continued and just became a Black Lives Matter activist and got
You
a book
would,
deal out of it.
yeah.
I was supposed to go on Netflix teaching people how to be BLM activists. I could have been deep in my bag. There was so much money in being woke.
Well, you can still do that. You can still fall back on that plan if you want to.
I could.
Say you're de-radicalized
Yeah.
from far-right
it's-
ideologies.
there's
It would
like
be
a-
even more effective, actually.
Yeah.
That you've seen the light.
Yeah. I was like, I crossed the dark side and realized the grass is actually much wider on the other side.
Yeah.
Belle Delphine.
Okay, we're going to talk about Belle Delphine, and I hope you haven't forgotten who this woman is, because it's been a while since she went viral for selling her bathwater to OnlyFans simps. She's just revealed the amount of riches that she made from selling her bathwater. I believe the figure is $6.3 million.
Wow.
Which she sold as
selling her bathwater?
Yeah, gamer girl bathwater, $30 a pop. And I have no idea if this was a scam or if it was just tap water in a small cup, but men were actually purchasing this at the time, and it was like new territory. Because a lot of people had not heard of OnlyFans or, online.
I'm in the wrong business.
Yeah,
Jeez.
online sex work in general. But she recently went on Louis Theroux's podcast and did this tell-all interview about the highs and lows, the epic highs and lows of being a digital prostitute, basically. And there are a lot of sad revelations, to be honest. There's a lot of money. She used this money to buy herself a house, which a lot of young people can't do these days. She said she made $6.3 million from just one viral video on her OnlyFans. And the unfortunate reality is that her father shunned her, disowned her, once he found out how she was making all of this money, because she bought this house, and he's like, what the hell are you doing that you could afford this house? And just a couple of days
What's she saying,
after
like bartending.
Yeah, like, I'm just a really successful waitress. But yeah, like a couple of days after she started selling this bathwater online is when he came to her house and found out what she did for a living. it's more than a living, but that is when they cut off contact, according to her. She said in this interview that he blew up on her and they're no longer speaking, and he's disowned her completely. Wow. And that's controversial on its own. I mean, you can think like, what would I do in that situation as a parent, right? We've talked about this before, I think. And I think I've said I wouldn't disown a kid for doing this, but that doesn't mean that you have to accept what they're doing or celebrate it. But yeah, now her net worth is like in the tens of millions from this stuff, and is the trade-off worth it?
How was the I wonder how it was like packaged and everything. I don't know. I'm just.
It didn't look that
but
high value. It was just like this little plastic cup with a sticker on it that says "Gamer Girl Bathwater." How much was she charging for each one? Do you know? $30.
$30.
Yeah, $30 each, and it sold. It sold.
So we're both in the wrong field. You need to go to Black Lives Matter and get into all that, and you and I need to start selling bathwater.
I'm good on that. Like, I'll pass. Thank you. Yeah,
man.
but
What is it with
there were these dudes making videos like trying Gamer Girl bathwater for the first time. They were drinking it, bathing in it. I mean, doing God knows what with it. I don't even know.
I imagine when guys said, that tastes like amaranth water, not Belle Delphine
it's like
water.
how they can tell the difference.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and since you mentioned amaranth, she got a deal recently to use her own vaginal yeast to make a beer, a brand of beer that of course her simps are going to purchase.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm surprised because I've always said like these creeps will they'll pay for anything really. Like I feel like she's leaving money on the table. If she gets a haircut, she should be selling her hair. Do you know how much she could probably sell a lock of her hair for?
Well, she said she debated selling her own spit or her own hair, but resolved to sell the bathwater because it's less impactful, but still cute and fun, but remains close to her physical body. Yeah.
No, I feel bad for everybody involved in this because it's like I'm kind of with you. I wouldn't disown my child for having an OnlyFans or being a sex worker, but I would be strongly disappointed. I would make that very clear every opportunity that I got, because it's like, especially if you raised her and were present in her life, that's embarrassing to a father.
Yeah. I think that the story you're more likely to hear is that there's this super suspiciously supportive mom in the picture who really celebrates that her daughter is doing this. You hear that a lot.
Charlie Sheen, Denise Richards situation where Denise Richards is now doing OnlyFans with her daughter.
Yes. Yeah. And they're like teasing like collab with my daughter on OnlyFans and this is actually something they're selling.
I actually do have a crazy story about that. When I worked in family law, and technically I never signed an NDA. He forgot to give me that document. But there was a particular divorce case where the divorce was petitioned by the husband because the husband found out that the daughter was doing some kind of pornographic website or something of that nature. And then when he went to the website, realized that the daughter was doing porn with the mom/wife. So they had a site together where they would do all this like BDSM dominatrix type of stuff, and he just had no idea what was going on.
Okay, that's disgusting.
Disturbing, disgusting,
They would
repulsive.
do it like with each other or with other men?
I don't know that extent of the details.
I don't know if I want to know.
I know. Seriously.
I limited my questions when I was doing my work. That had nothing to do with me. So
I'm gonna have to add that to my growing list of OnlyFans related horror stories.
Yeah.
How's that coming?
I should add Belle Delphine to it.
Yep.
Yeah. She said that while she notes everybody in her family knew how she was making her millions, she never wanted it to be a secret. Her dad was the last person to find out, and his reaction left a lasting impact. So he went to her house and he just went wild, she said. He went crazy. The messages he was writing, it was just horrible. But he's always been like that, so it's not something I wouldn't have expected. So that sounds like, they have the enabling mom who's like supporting it because you want in on the cash, which is especially disgusting because, it's your job to protect your kid from these types of things.
The bathwater thing is, it's interesting. I just saw the movie Saltburn, and y'all know
she was ahead of her time.
That scene, oh my gosh, where he's drinking from the
yeah. Yeah, I did not want to watch that movie for that reason, and other things that I read about.
It was very good in general, but anyway.
Also, I pulled up this clip where Louis Theroux asks Belle Delphine to explain what a simp is to him. Let's take a look at that reel.
The simps. Who came up with that?
Oh, I have no idea. Simp's basically just a very strong male fan of a woman who maybe has connotations of giving her money or white knighting her a bit on the internet.
White knighting, that's another one. Basically, someone who does way too much for a person they like, typically a man who does way too much for a woman, right?
Yeah, and I suppose some people generalize it as any man who does pay for sexual content could be classified as a simp.
Often seen as sort of a synonym with beta, cuck. I'm using all
I
the
think
internet
cuck's
terms.
slightly different.
Cuck's what? Cuck
What?
is more. We've gone really deep into 4chan now. If we're going to try and explain the internet to everyone who's listening,
Yeah, so actually a lot of Louis Theroux's fans who think themselves much smarter than they are were angry at him for interviewing her.
Why?
Well, she has been known to kind of infantilize herself in this sexual content.
Oh, so they think there's something pedophilic about it.
I would agree with them, honestly.
The top comment on the Louis Theroux thing says, "Why is this small child a porn star?"
Yeah, another one said, Louis, ignore her. You're a giga chad who's been documentary maxing and keeping us red-pilled. Not Louis platforming women who've been known to dress up as a child sexually, SMH. Another said, the whorephobia in this comment section is rife. Sex work is real work. People in the industry deserve respect and basic human decency, just like any other professional doing their job.
Your job is literally to... I don't know how much I can say on YouTube without getting you guys.
You know, speak your mind.
It's like your job is literally to ride dick on camera. So it's like, how am I supposed to look at you, be like, oh, like you put in so much work, you put in this 9 to 5, like you've been putting your blood, sweat, and tears. It's like, no, you're just putting your spit and sweat into your job. So I don't know. It's very hard to respect somebody who does that. It's like, I'm not judging necessarily.
The hope would be that.
Thank you.
If that's what you want to do, then like go for it, I guess. It's just don't expect the rest of society to look at what you do with something credible.
The hope would be that you also judge the men who partake the same way.
Oh yeah,
For the people
100%.
that do judge, it would be to judge both the same way.
I am judging both.
If you choose,
partially.
if you choose to do so.
I actually judge the men a lot more than I judge the women, and I feel like that's something that doesn't get talked about enough. It's like the women who do it, it's like I think it's really gross. I think it's like it's a sad sign that you have given up on yourself and that you feel that you have no other value to put into the world besides your sexuality. But I feel like as a male, you're inherently that much more expected to bring something to the table, to build up a skill set, to work hard, to have these values, and then eventually to instill those values into your future family. But all you're doing now is just showing that you being a hypersexual being is the only thing that you want to put into the world. I feel like the expectation for a man should be higher, and like I guess that's the antithesis of the feminist movement, or is that, or are they supposed to be viewed as equal in the feminist movement? I don't know, but it's just very disappointing to me when you see more and more men getting into this industry when those are the same men who probably would go and shame women for doing this too.
The same men who would consume this type of content are the ones who
Exactly.
look down on it the most at times.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I judge both of those actions. I do. But I think that for a lot of them, sadly, they're creating a parasocial relationship with that OnlyFans chick, and they feel in their mind like they're providing for them in a certain sense.
Yeah.
Like it's the simulacra of being a provider for a woman, even though you don't have a personal relationship with her. And this is like a girlfriend simulator, essentially. That's what it is. I don't know. It's a sad situation all around, and I blame both parties. There's like too much battle of the sexes energy going on.
That seems to be a theme, it's like we talked about with before, the last topic.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go. Let's finish up the super chats.
Bucky Ducky said, as a country fan, attacking people over music is effing R-worded. I don't care for most pop country, but attacking those artists is not yeehaw.
It's not yeehaw. It's not very
You
yeehaw.
almost spit your drink out. Bang Bang Lulu said they're breakdance fighting.
Yes.
Well, she needs to do a dance battle with her dad.
They should breakdance fight. That'd be
to
awesome.
resolve this. Gordon Shumway said, Mary, if you didn't go to CPAC, did you get to meet Kirk Cameron Wednesday night? Tana Claire was so amazed that he had 6 kids in 6 years. No, I wasn't here on Wednesday night. He was here?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
Kirk Cameron?
Did you meet him?
was here?
I did not.
6 kids in 6 years. That's impressive. I wonder how that happened. DCNC said, Xaviaer, how long has it been since leaving the left? Do you feel a sense of betrayal by indoctrination? Do you retain many of the values, or is it wholesale abandonment?
That's a good question. So I would say the entire process of 2020 was me slowly becoming red pilled. I'd say I was full blown red pilled about 3 years and 1 month ago. It was around January 6th, actually, but not because of January 6th. Because, it was January of 2021. I would say I got full blown just like red pilled at that point. And then as far as like if like I completely abandon everything, I would say no. One thing that I liked about the left is they're better at being, I guess, empathetic. I think empathy goes way too far with people on the left, and like with liberals, like they care too much about people's feelings and all these things that are relatively irrelevant. But I do think that sometimes conservatives and people on the right are so by the book about certain things that they leave out the room for nuance and leave out the room for understanding people's situations and what goes into that. So I guess that if there's anything I feel like I brought to this side, it's that it's seeking to understand a bit more.
That was what I meant when I was saying that the right is horrible at speaking to women. It's the discussion that was going on a couple of weeks ago. The woman who was talking about how hard her work schedule was, and Matt Walsh, and everyone's like, "Stop being such a baby." And I'm like, on one hand, I'm absolutely
rub some dirt in it.
Yeah, like I'm one of those people that it's like, look, that is actually my take most of the time. But the problem is, if you're looking to engage with them, you're not winning any. You're not going to win any favor by just saying rub some dirt in it. You have to at least find some way to empathize, to make it understand, like, I understand your argument, but perhaps look at it this way. But most of the time, the initial reaction is to not do that. It's to say, you're a loser, you're a whiner, stop whining. And while I get the sentiment and I get the impulse, it doesn't help them grow an audience. It doesn't help turn people in their favor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DCNC said, Mommy Kurtz mentioned the number of hearts, damn it. It was 4 hearts. I also like Dr. Ramani, but if a narcissism expert like her can be manipulated by Jada and Rachel Woods, what hope is there for the rest of us?
Oh, did Jada go on Dr. Ramani's show too?
I didn't know that.
Oh, wow, that is like 2 strikes.
Damn. Well, is there hope for the rest of us?
There was a moment in the Dr. Ramani, Evan Rachel Wood interview where you could see Dr. Ramani was like, it was the part where was very like sort of confused. It was the part where Evan Rachel Wood was trying to explain why she claims voluntarily gave up custody of her son, which we know that she didn't, she lost it. But she was saying that she had to give up custody of her child because of her fear of Marilyn Manson, even though the child went to live with his father, who lived next to Marilyn Manson. So it didn't make much sense. And you just see Dr. Ramani just kind of looking like, what?
She didn't try to probe any further about that?
I don't think she wanted to. I got the sense that like about halfway through that interview, she started to figure out that maybe there was something a little bit off going on.
The Last of My Kind said Beyonce pulling a reverse Taylor Swift.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shane H. Wilder said, only reason I remember That Dog Is Not Real is because I memed the ish out of it. As the resident meme lord, it's my responsibility to remember. LMFAO.
That is true. It is his job.
Like an elephant, you never forget. The Manic Mustache said, as someone that recently married a Gen Z woman, there are women out there that want chivalry, just have to be man enough to find them. Yeah,
Valid.
I mean, I wouldn't blame it on the men entirely if they're not able to find that type of
Especially
that type
where
of
you
woman.
live.
Yeah, it
It's
has
so
a lot
much
to do with
easier
that.
Some places.
Shane H. Wilder said, Charlie Chaplin also grew a full beard and did not dress as his character. He used to do that all the time to F with people. That's funny.
That's awesome.
Bucky Ducky said, you gotta help your kids, man. Leaving them is an L. Yeah, I mean, he obviously helped with that $5 million in the payout on the divorce. However, that's not the only thing that you should be doing as a dad. In fact, the rest of it is more important than the money.
Also, we're getting one side of the story here. How much did the mom allow access to the kids? Did the mom tell the kids stories about the dad that turned them against him? There's a million ways in which that story could have turned him into a villain, in which case he's less of a villain and more of just a neutral person, part of a bad breakup that went.
It's kind of just a weirdo. go.
Yeah.
Which is evident. Shane H. Wilder said 6.3 million for bathwater. My fellow dudes, have some respect for yourselves and stop spending money on digital prostitutes. Nasty ass bathwater.
What I don't want to think about is like what
good
they're
advice.
doing with the bath, or like how does this? What anyway? I don't
Did she just like get in the bath once, immediately step out and start filling up?
There would
cups?
be no way to verify whether it's
No.
real
Of
bathwater.
course not. It's the honor system.
I do like they're like, that's tap water. This is bullshit.
These people are weird though. I remember there was this one girl I asked, what is the worst ick a guy has ever given her, like during intimacy or anything? And she said, no exaggeration, that one of her hairs came out and he took her hair and flossed with it.
Ooh, hair stuff, flossed? What?
I'm like, that just sounds like gum disease.
That just sounds like a lot of gross. Whatever's going on there.
So people would do some
So
really weird
he
things.
thought that was gonna be like hot
Yeah, it was
or like
kinky.
funny. I don't know.
I'm just imagining like sort of like the panache with which he would do that, like.
Like a nasty wingsuit.
Oh,
9 out of 10 dentists recommend that.
He gives you that Ron DeSantis stare.
Yes. Imagine like food is on it too. So like at the flossing, you see like some green spinach.
Like
on
he
the
actually needed to floss.
He's like,
right.
L'Oreal.
So good. Corey Anderson said, Colonel, I think you could do it and rake it in. You gonna do this?
Yeah.
Corey Anderson said, selling bathwater is an answer to my previous super chat.
Which was, what was his previous super chat?
About telling Colonel Kurtz to do it.
I feel like that's more ethical than selling your body. I mean, you pretty much just put like a free trial of your body out there. So your bathwater, at least it's like.
What if we did neither?
I guess that's also an option.
Yeah, that's also an option. Bucky Ducky said, I'm with Shane. Don't hate the player, hate the game. The whole OF thing is the fault of men. Stop giving these hoes your money.
Yes, they create the
Valid.
market for it.
They do. But I'm going to hate the player and the game. How about that?
And the industry.
Yeah, the whole thing. The whole shebang. DC&C said, is Mocha more tolerable in person, Bretzo? What is Bretzo?
I have no idea, but the answer is no comment.
Shane H. Wilder said, we need to bring shame back. Couldn't have said it better myself. Corey Anderson said, the Sextons are a bio mom and daughter that do corn together. Don't ask how I know.
Oh.
I'm worried about how you know that. Gross.
Oh.
Bucky Ducky said, shame H. Wilder. Yeah, that's what he should change his username to. Organized Business Services said, hey, Kim Kardashian started with a corn vid and made billions.
Yeah, but with like a famous person and had like a creepy famous mom who wanted to, basically whore her out to the world in that way. So that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Valid.
Shane H. Wilder said, I will shame and meme as I please, Bucky. LOL.
There you go.
I feel like Kim Kardashian should also be a lesson for these girls because she talks about all the time how much she hates when people bring that up and how much she hates that she's identified as that. And if you think of the success that Kim Kardashian has done, like as a businesswoman, she's very legendary. Like to go from being like wealthy, of course, but to become this multi-billionaire, she's created all these amazing products and lines and success and all these different ventures, but people still view her as the mistake that she made when she was very young. So what are these OnlyFans girls think that they're gonna do? If Kim Kardashian can escape it with all the things that she's contributed to the world, these OnlyFans girls, you're gonna be viewed as the porn girl or the bathwater girl, no matter what you do for the rest of your life.
Girl.
Those girls feel that they won't be ashamed of it anyways, and all they see is the success that she got afterwards, not what it cost her to have to talk about it, because they don't feel like they're gonna have a problem talking about it later.
And they're essentially saying, I shouldn't change. Society should change.
Yep.
And the more people that do digital prostitution, I guess that's going to be the result.
It's becoming so normalized now.
Yep. Yeah. But you really can't indoctrinate people out of their, instincts about those things. Like, we're always going to find that disgusting. Sorenko Productions said, send the flood. God promised he wouldn't do that. But he didn't promise that he wouldn't use other methods. Cobra Commander said Xaviaer is correct. Men are worse. We can't reasonably expect a woman to have the integrity to not march themselves into sex work. There was money on offer. What else would you expect? Principles?
That was a very, very, very spicy take there.
Yeah, I think I can detect some sarcasm there.
Just a bit of
sir.
snark.
Corey Henderson said, Mary, it happened like this. When a mommy and daddy love each other very much, then you get 6 kids in 6 years. Bucky Ducky said, my chat about leaving was about the bathwater. Wait, what?
Now we'd have to go back up and reread them.
Sorry for asking you to explain yourself this much. DCNC said dancing cops delivering warrants brings a new meaning to being served.
Exactly.
They should start doing skits where they like no-knock warrants where they just knock down the door and start dancing.
It's a dance squad.
Yes.
We would
It's gonna
still have
arrest
Breonna
you.
Taylor if we just danced. So
Yes.
Oh, no. Yeah, she said, good take, Brett.
Thank you.
Whatever take it was.
It's always good.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean, I don't really give bad takes, so.
Bucky Ducky said the 10th dentist flosses with hair.
It's true. Because I made the joke 9 out of 10 dentists recommend when you were talking about floss. The 10th dentist flosses with his girlfriend's hair.
Corey Anderson said no weird, non-illegal things people do. Wait, what?
No idea.
Oh, because we didn't say examples of like weird things that people do. Like, okay, like not to sound like corny or like little kids always say this, but people really do go out and pick their nose and eat it, and I think that's very disgusting. I notice on a very regular basis because I'm nosy, but I hate when people do it to me. But like if I pull up next to you on the street at a red light, I'm looking in your car to see what you're doing so I can judge. And the amount of people that I see pick their nose and eat it while they're driving, it's like actually really foul.
Okay.
I've never done that as a kid.
I don't do that, for the record, but you're validating my phobia right now where I hate being parked next to somebody. I hate being at an intersection where my window is like directly aligned with someone else's. I will back up or go forward in order for them not to have the eye line into my car because I just want to feel like I have a little bit of privacy. Not that I'm picking my nose. I'm not doing that. But I'm just saying that's my phobia.
I'm a hypocrite because I do the same thing. Like I've been known to back up if I have to in order to not be in that line sight. But if they're not looking at me, I'm looking at them. So one way or another, it's going to happen.
Yeah, and when I'm driving or if I pass someone or someone passes me, I don't want them to have any time to look at me. I don't want them to know.
Do you just imagine that like you're like stock straight ahead? You imagine they're going
every time.
That's me. I was straight up just right into
just looking right at them,
right into their car.
Every time I imagine they're flipping me off. Every time they pass me. Every time. I don't know why. I just think people are always like about to kill me on the road. Corey Anderson said, Shane H. Wilder said, I don't think hair is approved by the American Dental Association.
Probably not. I would love to know the context in which this guy thought that this was like a winning strategy with his girlfriend.
He learned that at Hustlers University.
He did. That's in the super secret menu. Like you got to pay way extra.
That's that secret Riz.
That's the ultra Riz course.
Yeah.
The ultra platinum Riz course.
High Voltage 75 said there's still over 100 Quiznos operating in the U.S. Down but not out. They're due for a comeback. Are they though?
Do food chains go through like slumps, like where they're in and out, and then they're popular, and then they're not popular again? Like it needs a resurgence. All they need is
one that should not exist is Arby's.
I was just about to say I know one person in my entire life who actually likes Arby's.
I'll eat Arby's if I'm there.
You just met 2.
Yeah. I wouldn't choose it. I wouldn't go by choice, but if I'm there, I'll get something.
But how are they
Curly
open?
fries.
Some of them are just so disgusting. I'm like Burger King also like.
No, leave Burger King alone.
It's just not the only good fast food I think is like Taco Bell and Chick-fil-A. I think that's pretty much
Taco Bell got rid of like most of the good things on their menu though. Like I've been
It's all the
beefing with
same
them ever since they got rid of the beefy nacho loaded griller. I have no reason to go there now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like it's all the same stuff, different shapes.
Yeah. Like a ghost kitchen.
I'm a Taco Bell stan. Carnell said, Brett, can we have an IMDb check on the dancing dad to see if he had anything to do with Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo? Break into Electric Boogaloo.
The movie? Yeah.
Okay. We're going to IMDb trivia him. Rhaegar Targaryen said, I love the fact that you guys are philosophically mulling over the pros and cons of selling bathwater. This was not on my pop culture crisis bingo card.
I mean, I honestly would, because like we talk about stuff like this all the time.
Well, when are you going to do it then?
Yeah.
When can they expect the launch?
Soon.
Soon.
I was gonna say that kind of ties into what you were saying earlier, how like people say this show is saving America and getting into all the real
And I'm
issues
just like,
of this
so about
country.
the bathwater that people are selling. How do we save America?
It's very serious.
Yes.
We have $20 from Christmas Loving Engineer. He said, I have to navigate Houston traffic for my work commute, and I definitely stare down the people driving slowly in the left lane. That's me.
Well, the
I
left
do
lane is
that.
for crime. You're supposed to drive fast.
I'm not following Phil's rules. I've gotten pulled over too many times. Shane H. Wilder said that take was so spicy, I might need a Tums. Okay.
Oh.
Corey Anderson said, I mean, purchase someone's bathwater is weird, but not illegal.
That is, okay, so that's what they're saying.
It
So
should
that
be
is-
illegal.
It is a weird thing. I think there's also people that sell and buy toenails.
If I ran this country, it would be illegal.
Feet pics. How about that? Feet pics. That's a weird thing that's not illegal. That most women on the internet have to actively work to keep their feet offline.
You know, is that fetish growing, or has it always just been ginormous and nobody talked about it?
I think it's always been ginormous.
Really?
Isn't it like the most common
Yeah.
of them all? I think it's something where you're just born with like a brain, like your brain is like demented or something. Like I thought I looked it up for like a scientific explanation, and there's actual proof that it's like your brain structure. You're born with this weird foot fetish. I don't know how it works. DCNC said, hot take, Mary secret snot eater. This is not true. This is fake. Fake news.
Fake news.
It's lies.
Fake news.
Shane H. Wilder said, Mary wants her privacy.
Get tinted windows.
Isn't that illegal?
Up to a certain point. Like you can get up to a certain level of legal for tint. You should do that.
I don't know if I want to risk it. But Pat the plumber also said that. Mary, you need some mirror tint.
No, there you go. Well, that's all of them.
Shane H. Wilder also said, Mary rolling 20s on Taco Bell, Chick-fil-A.
There you go. Perfect.
Best fast food.
All right, and one more here from Bucky Ducky. You got that one?
Bucky Ducky. Mary, I don't drive fast. Also, Mary, getting pulled over for 55 in a school zone. Mary is secretly Texan.
That is fairly true.
It was not 55 in a school zone, but I was going 18 over next to a police station.
Next to a police station.
Yes.
Smart. Very
Thank
smart.
you.
Thank you, guys.
Gordon Shumway said, Mary, Dennis Leary wrote a song about you.
Check it out.
Okay.
All right, guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video, please? And subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. Thank you very much. Kurtz, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I've been here all day.
You've been here all day.
I appreciate it. Appreciate y'all.
Let everyone know where they can find you.
Yeah, everybody.
Let them know where they can find you online.
Oh, Colonel Kurtz. Yes. So type in Colonel Kurtz 99.
You're super shadow banned on everything.
And am I?
I every time I try to look you up on YouTube and Twitter, at least, yeah.
Well, maybe that explains why my subscribers have not been growing very much. I don't know.
Guys, fix that problem.
Yeah, Colonel Kurtz 99. Also, I want to give a plug to the Manson cases and Marilyn Manson Uncanceled, because I forgot to do it earlier. I was going to do it. So check them out if you're interested in the Manson conspiracy. And yeah, all right.
All right. Xavier.
Thank you guys, first of all, for having me again. Happy to be back here. You guys can follow me on Instagram. Is my main platform. It's my first name. It's Xaviaer. Make sure you get that extra A.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Instagram's at Xavier. Twitter or X is at Xavier D. TikTok is at Xavier.
All right, Mary.
You can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived.
There's one more here from Shane H. Wilder. He says, go forth and live Moss.
You know we will.
Thank you, Shane.
Mi amigos.
Thank you.
Shane's a super fan. Thank you.
All right, guys, if you'd like to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram and Twix at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. This show is here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you'd like to listen rather than watch, we got a $20 one here from Francisco Sanchez Jr. Says, yo, happy weekend. Gatekeep the things you love.
Yeah,
Boss.
Gaslight, Gatekeep, Girl Boss.
There you go. The 3 Gs. All right, and what else do we got here? And if you want to follow the show on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook and not TikTok because we're banned at Pop Culture Crisis, and on Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Guys, we will be back with another episode on Monday. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.